that is. There, somebody hit the button. All right. That was highly intelligent. So when I went to move the phone, I actually muted it.
Nice job.
Yeah, whatever. Try to put me down, and I love you anyway. That's the whole deal. And let me just do this. Let's, the next time that when you get into a real tizzy, let's see how long you moan, groan, and cry for. Because nobody cares about your dysfunction. You just stay there. Yeah, but you know what? I had, usually the tantrums work. Yeah, but you just had one for like 40 years. Oh, seriously? Look, teenagers have them for 10 minutes. Adults have them for 10 years. Oh, hold on a second here. Okay, all right? Oh, no, that's just little Jimmy. He's having a tantrum. Oh, guess what? Now Jimmy's 15. He's having a mood. Okay. Now little Jimmy is 30. It's a disorder. It's not his fault. He's on what?
Adderall or something.
Yeah, he's on Adderall, but guess what? Now he gets money every month, and now he can be broken for the rest of his life. So you have to understand something. The government that runs the government is these psychos that took the diaper and put it on our face. Now, just keep saying, okay? Oh, and by the way, I'm in a mood. The reality is I just want to thank all the people out there that are still driving in their cars with masks on, alone. They're saving us. Now, let me get back to this. So the reality is you can say, Dr. Wolf, you're too sarcastic. You better be professional. And I'm going to tell you something right now. There are lives at stake. There are lives at stake. And when 80% of the population doesn't have critical thinking, we're all going to go down because we think that the majority rules and the majority doesn't rule. The minority rules. And the minority of thinkers and people that want to become enlightened and believe that they deserve to be here and that this is our world. And that's it. So anyway, so here's the deal. So there's a government side of the government, guys. Nothing's ever going to change. And guess what? Us here in America, we all think our vote matters. Right? Right? Isn't that something? Right. I already told you, why don't you go to somebody who's a historian and take a look at everything. And you'll see it's just called recycle, reuse, and you're getting used. It doesn't matter what they do. They are going to shut off the economy, but, but they're not going to shut my economy. Okay? The world will always go to war, but I'm not going to war with myself or anyone else. We will go into a depression, but I'm not going to. Thank you. I refuse. I'll be just fine, thank you. I'm not doing anything. So you go ahead and go and do all this stuff and go for the ride. Oh, this is Debbie. Debbie, you want to talk?
Come on up here.
Puts us on the spot right now.
Oh, but I'll be back.
Okay.
And don't touch the mute button.
Okay, we'll try not to. So, I guess everybody knows I'm Debbie and this is Dina. And a lot of people probably don't know how we met. So, we're at a restaurant and I'm kind of red pilling in case anybody doesn't know what that means. I'm kind of telling someone the truth about something or my truth or what I believe. And Dina hears and she interrupts and says, I gotta talk.
The way we were sitting, my partner was in front of me, and I'm sitting here, and Debbie's side by side on a different table, and then her friends across from her, and I'm like, I've got to listen. I'm not alone in this. I'm not alone, I got to listen. She's saying what I believe. I need to talk to her. So I made an excuse to talk to her because I'm a sound practitioner, and I work from the Elliott Museum, so I said, can I invite you, to my practice? And I said, here's tickets to the museum. I said, what she's saying is the truth. So I'm telling her friend to not get something for her health, and anyways, and even her knee surgery, and we were talking, and that's how we met.
And that's been almost 2 years ago, and we have been like this, like we've known each other forever.
Right.
And so she introduced me to Dr. Wolf, and she sent me his video in the first one. I was like, oh, I love this guy. I love this guy because he says it the way that it is. And it was just an amazing journey. She's like, oh, he has a class. And I'm like, oh, we got to go do the class. And I kind of said, well, I want to learn the non-surgical because I really want to help people. And she's like, no, we got to do the whole life and the non-surgical. I said, okay. And just life happened. She had other things. I went this way. And I ended up taking the whole life coach back in Texas with Sharon here. She's in the audience. And so Dina ended up waiting for a little bit because of her son's wedding and things happened. But I was only going to do the whole life coach. And the day that I walked into that place, I said, oh, no, I'm staying for the extra time and I'm doing the non-surgical here. Well, that was last August. I have already finished 3 of his courses all the way, so I'm one of the master practitioners.
Good girl.
And I have a Cellsonic. And he'll be talking about the Cellsonic as the lecture continues.
Let's share, and this is why we're so honored and so excited to host Dr. Wolf here for the whole month of April. He is teaching right here on the premise, and this is special. This is, hurry up, it's a one-time, lifetime, maybe, he's going on a world tour. So we're so honored that he was here, and that was my goal. My friend Nisi here knew, like 3 years ago, I said, I'm bringing him to Florida. I said, I want him here, and I said, and the way he captured me, it was, we laugh, right? You got issues in your tissue, and we are a nation of inflammation. But between the lines is the truth, and you're like, and when he said fibromyalgia, people are on disability for that. I'm like, they're on disability for fibromyalgia. Even in Canada, even more, because you can be on disability for anything in Canada. It's a socialist, medical system. And my sister was, and other people, and now, so going back to Dr. Wolf, was everything made sense. And I wanted to get off Diet Coke. That was my pet peeve, Diet Coke, and to do the 33-day lifestyle change, you have to stop the sodas, the alcohol, there's things. So I said, I'm taking the challenge. I never touched a Diet Coke since. So that was my intention. And also getting off thyroid medication. So I did get off the levothyroxine completely by doing iodine. And of course, all the other the other nutraceuticals. I don't call them supplements. Nutraceuticals have vibration, they have frequency, they elevate your energy, they bring air, they bring oxygen, they bring flow to your body. There's a difference. There's a difference. They're captured by the cell, they're captured by, your energy. So it's very different than a supplement.
So when I was young, I used to think that I could out-exercise a good diet. Okay, because I've always been thin, I've never been overweight, maybe a little bit, 5 pounds or something. But I always worked out. I'm a retired fire captain. I always stayed in shape and everything. And then one day when I was about 50 years old, I woke up after working in the yard and I had pain in my fingers. And I said, wow, no, this isn't happening. And I did research and I found out that it was the food that I was eating. And it was mainly, what I found was the gluten, so I stopped the gluten. And guess what, guys? I kept on researching, because it's been 7 years since that time, because I'm 57 now. And found out it wasn't just the gluten, it was the dairy, it was the meat. It was all these things that we actually think we go to the store and can buy. And everybody eats these on a daily basis, because they think they eat it, because they believe a thing called a what? Television. So you watch your news, you watch all of the stuff that's on this television, tells their lie of a vision, and you guys believe it. And that's what Dr. Wolf says you're doing. You're being ruled, schooled, and fooled. But if you took a little bit of time and actually research for yourself what we're talking about, you would change your life around. And every time I just try to find out any information, I make a change. And it's like he says, 1% a day, 1% a day, a little bit better. And we're all not perfect, and I'm definitely not perfect, but I do limit certain things, and definitely never eat gluten and certain dairy and all the things that we're not supposed to, but I do like dark chocolate.
And you know, when you change 1% a day, in 100 days, you change yourself 100%. And you keep doing it, and you keep doing it. And this is part of the training of your mind, you know, just because there's brain activity doesn't mean you're thinking. You know, there's a lot of brain activity, there are zombies right there. And today I made a conscious decision to practice every thought today, a challenge, so I wouldn't be triggered emotionally by driving or something, and my God, it's work. But because you do it regularly, it becomes a habit, and after that, it becomes your nature. It's who you are, and then you've mastered yourself, and then you walk like a master. You know when you see those yogis and you think they're like, wow, well, you become that person. And you always want to be better, and we all know to do better, but we don't do it. But when you bring that to your conscious, this moment, and you train yourself like you're breaking a horse, because you know that thought that you had doesn't serve you. That doesn't serve you, it aggravates you, it makes you angry, snip it, change it, bring something to your heart, be grateful for life, be grateful for breathing today. And pause, breathe through your heart, and then you're gonna capture that negativity and switch it, switch it, switch it. This is why the 3, 2, 1 seems silly to have on your wristband, but snap it, snap it. I mean, sometimes you can snap it like almost 60 times in 3 minutes, but you're doing it, and it's about training yourself, you know? And yeah, you say, but I love cheese. I love cheese. I love cheese too. I was raised Mediterranean, that means lamb. Kibbe is raw meat. I was the tester of the raw meat with the onions. I was the tester with grandma and mom. Okay, so I was raised with that heavy, you know, raw meat and cheese, the feta cheese and all the cheeses, the Lebanese. I mean, it's good. I'm telling you, it's good. But I know that the inflammation will stay in my body up to 60 days. So what's the price you want to pay? The taste in your mouth or the inflammation for 60 days? And then if you keep doing it over and over, guess what? Your body deteriorates. I was saying, people don't die, we kill ourselves. We kill ourselves. So it's becoming aware, and you know, now that the media makes it normal that we're fat, it makes it normal, you know, and last lecture, one of the women says to me, but Dr. Wolf told me I was fat. I said, are you? But are you? Well, you are. You feel, you know, you got 20, 30 pounds. He's only telling you the truth. And if you don't face your truth, you're going to be 60 pounds heavier next year. That's all it is. It's an awareness.
And sometimes people don't even listen to what he says and turns things around, which we had happen. And we were 2 witnesses to what he actually said to somebody, and they said, well, he told us if you didn't do this, you were going to die. And we said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He did not say that. So, you know, you have to stay in the moment, be conscious, pay attention to what is being said to you. And, you know, it's time to start awakening and live a healthy life.
At the end of the day, you're here because something resonated with you and what he said, right? A lot of times, or what I've sent you about Dr. Wolf, and then you researched it for yourself and asked the questions. We even brought in a friend of ours she was hesitant, the family, you know, was hesitant to sign up with the training. I said, what we'll do for you is like, come over, bring the whole family. We'll do a treatment on you so they can witness. They can witness what a non-surgical can do for you. And they got it. They got it. They understood it was necessary for the family to have at least a practitioner to heal and help the others heal themselves. You know, you bring that one person. Debbie and I are so busy right now, we haven't even advertised. It's word of mouth. I'm a sound practitioner. I have my own practice. And when you come to sound therapy, you're open already to healing. You understand that your body shifts and the energy changes when you attend a sound therapy. So I always offer everyone in the space the opportunity to know what we're up to before we tell it to everybody else. So we have our clients that come from Pilates, from my sound therapy, or friends, and now you're all here amongst other friends that brought friends, and then people have traveled from North Carolina right now to see Dr. Wolf. We have Miami, we have Tampa, I mean, everywhere. So there's a resonance. So don't waste your time. Capture that knowledge and do something about it. You know, knowledge is zero if you don't apply it. You can read all the books, you can follow the doc everywhere around the world, but if you don't do it, it's worthless. It's worthless.
And everything out there is set against us. I mean, you know, someone told me before, well, it's in the store, it has to be okay. And I'm like, really? No. You know, 90%, 90 or 95, Dr. Wolf,
What?
in the grocery store.
90% of everything in the grocery store never existed 90 years ago.
So processed food, all filled up with sugars. You know, you have to be very careful when you go in. And 70% in a Whole Foods or, you know, a Sprouts Market or something else, you know, they still have processed food. So it's very, you know, what we can, or what we're supposed to eat, what we should eat is very, very minimal to compare to, and everything out there, no matter if you go to a restaurant, it's just, everything is against you. You know, when I go to Christmas or Thanksgiving, you know, I ride with my cooler. My family expects it. And I've had people tell me, well, I can't do that. That would insult them. And I'm like, I don't know why you feel your family should be insulted. I should be insulted that I can't eat the way I eat, or you're going to criticize me for what I know I should eat. And, you know, but that's where I'm way above that. I don't judge, and I don't need to be judged, and I don't care if you judge me, because I'm still bringing my food.
Exactly. At the end of the day, think about it. Everything that's left in your body is the frequency of what you put in it. The water, the intake of food, what you're thinking, what you believe. And if you don't analyze and capture it, you're just doing more of the same, wanting a change, but never getting there. And then you reach 50 years old, you're like, oh my God, I'm still doing this? Now you're doing it 60 years old, and then you die. You die, you just keep turning and spinning, you don't maximize your life. You know, we have this present moment right now, and we have to pause. You have to pause and restore and refresh and rejuvenate and put the high vibrational items, the high vibrational food, water, nutraceuticals, and it just brings you joy naturally. We're meant to be happy. You know, I was raised with a father that said, in this lifetime, you're not supposed to be happy. You prepare for the afterlife. So imagine as a child, you're not allowed to have fun and laugh because no, you prepare this life to be miserable because the afterlife is where you're allowed to be happy. So what did I do? I fought the environment that I was in. I moved out of Canada fast. They're not going to be around my son to do this to him. I made my mistakes because I still had some of these beliefs that I brought with me. But I was working on it, but I ran from that. You know, I said, I can't stay here, I'll be like them. And needless to say, they've all passed on. My father, my mother, and my sister just recently. And they'd say, oh yeah, she's the doctor, she's the natural healer. That's what they would call me, because at 4 years old, my son kicked the vaccination tray, whatever was coming at him, and he goes, no! I said, we're out. She said, you're gonna listen to a 4-year-old? Yes, I am. And I will research. And it was the dairy and the sugar that was causing him to have the ragweed inflammation. I read it, he was drinking rice milk at the age of 4. So I made my research, and then you continue, and then the doctor says this, no, my answer would be no, I'm researching it. She says, how did you do this? I balanced, I did this, I researched it. If it's online, maybe you go back to books that have been written in the 1970s and the 80s about nutrition and health and herbs. And Dr. Wolf's books and his library is free, guys. The library is free. Before meeting him, I did his whole master class. I paid for that master class. It's free right now. I did the whole question and answer, and I would just digest and eat everything I was learning from him before I even did the consultation and before I even did the courses. I would send videos of him so that people could wake up. So you're here because you are awake. You are awake at the beginning. Just keep going.
So most people, they'll go out and they'll spend $150 on a dinner. but they won't spend $150 on themselves for their health. Think about that. Most people will sit down and watch TV, but they won't take an hour and a half at night to look up something that's about their health. Most people go out and buy a new car, go buy a house, research the neighborhood, research the, what's the car thing, whatever it is. CarMax, find out what the car's worth, but they won't research the drugs that they take or the B's that they get. You know, just do a little research, guys, it's all out there, and when you do it, it's right in front of your face that, you know, maybe you should question a lot more of what's going on out there because it's your health.
And the conspiracy theorists had it all along, had it all along.
I'm one of those conspiracy
Yes,
theorists.
both of us, that's how we met.
So, yes.
And like I say, we're not judging you, you know, we're really there to help you, and then you have an awareness. I mean, I have friends that have regretted doing certain things, and then you just can lead them, and we can only suggest and guide you. The work has to come from you. It's always from you. The discipline, the mind discipline. Remember, the invisible creates the visible. That's another of his, you know, and it's the truth. Every ailment has a mental connection, and when you have an emotion that's not processed through the heart and let go with forgiveness and love and just let it go. I mean, the person that did this doesn't even remember they did it to you, but you're dragging it 7 years later and you're like, I can't do anything because he did this. Move on. He's not even thinking about you. He doesn't remember. You know, you gotta move on. This is where, you know, you don't find a therapist, find a coach. Just move on and we'll help you. And it's quick. It's one thought away.
So when I talk to my sister or my nieces and they get all angry over something, oh, someone's making me mad, I say, really? Really? Well, they didn't do this. And I said, and are they mad? No. I said, so you're getting mad. Do you know what that causes? That causes your liver to have a problem because when you have this anger issue, did you guys know that it affects your liver? Each part of your body is affected by how your emotion is, okay? I got mad at somebody recently and formed a sty. And I go into his book and I was like, oh, right there, angry at someone. And I was like, wow, I'll never do that again. I couldn't sleep that night, the night that it happened. And I was like, why did I let myself do that? And then 3 days, 4 days later, I ended up with a sty. And I was like, wow, because I'd never had a sty before. And these are the things that as we go through them and we, you know, like every day 1% more, and you just keep learning and learning. And right now, Dina and I are we formed Stewart Healing and Health. And so we're working as whole life coaches and doing the non-surgical, having yourself sonic, and it's just been amazing. We've helped already so many people. One of the women we worked on about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yes.
She was supposed to have hip surgery. She went for her blood work already. She had the pre-op stuff done, and she came, and her friend came together. We set up the room. We worked on them together. It was kind of fun. And they were with us for the full week. They were in town. And she had 2 treatments for the hip. She had a low back and she had the hip. And I did her shoulder also, but that had nothing to do. That was with another injury that she had. But after 2 treatments, she canceled that hip surgery. Okay? So the next time that you're told that you need surgery, you need to reevaluate and take a look at what it is you're doing and how it is that you can change things. And you know, and the other woman that was with her, she'd been, the mesh that, she had mesh put in her 20 years ago. So she was just scar tissue all on her lower bottom. She had not smiled in years because she was in pain. She just wanted to remain on gummies because that's how she dealt with the day. She never smiled. Her son was like, don't you ever smile, Mom? By the time they left our house that week, they were smiling. We taught them how to eat, how to even handle their husbands, you know, because they'd been both married for like 40-something years. And it was just like, I know you're not getting divorced, but, you know, we have to talk about how you deal with the fact that you're going to live in a house with this. and how you're gonna handle it, because how you handle a situation makes a difference in everything. And she went home, the other lady went home, and her son started crying when he saw her, because he had not seen her smile in I don't know how many years. And then she texted me a week later, I'm walking 2 miles, I haven't walked 2 miles in I don't know how long. So when you see these results with people, I mean, it's just, you know, it's amazing. And we're here to help you and show you, but you have to learn how to heal yourself. And that's the main thing. If you're not willing to put in that time and that effort to do it yourself, you're not ever gonna get anywhere, guys.
That is correct. And you know, the Rockefellers took out also the fact that we are all energy, vibration and frequency. And we forget about that because we're not taught that we are vibrational beings and that everything affects us. Everything you put in your body affects you. It's either going to elevate your energy or decrease your vitality. And you know it when you're eating that Oreo cookie, that is not increasing your vitality. You know it, but it's still good. It's, you know, 20%, 10%, low cheat once in a while, but do a run of like 33 days of lifestyle cleanse. 33 days, just do it. No animal product, no yeast, no sugar, no alcohol. And see how you feel in 3, 4, 5 days. You're never gonna want to stop.
Okay, Dr. Wolf's coming back up. Here he comes.
Why don't you girls tell them, well, I will. Okay, so just so you know, we'll be here. I'll be here until the 24th, 25th. I'm doing a whole life coach certification, and that's happening on starting on Monday. That's a 9-day course. If you want to change your life forever, you're going to want to show up. You will change your life. Don't make excuses. Well, you can. Why not make excuses? Might as well. Everybody does. But the reality is this: you don't want to. Okay. You want to try to get there if you can. And then Dr. Sagewolf, my son, will be coming and 11 days from now, no, 11 days from Monday, and he'll be doing the Wolf non-surgical course. And it is the most powerful body work, you know, and I mean this. There's no body work therapist out there that does what we do and gets the results we do. Now, that I know of, I'm sure there's lots out there that get better results than we do, but I haven't seen them yet. And I'll be doing a world tour, so I'm going to keep looking. Because anything that I can do to make people feel better, to heal better, to feel better, that's what we're going to do. Okay? And just know this, that Debbie and Dina, they're doing treatments, but if anybody, you know, if anybody who's really difficult or feels like there's no hope, I will be doing treatments and consultations, and so will Dr. Sage Wolf. And he'll be here longer than me. He'll be here another 2 weeks longer than me. So if you're interested, you can call me on my number at 469-861-8884, or just call the 800 number, extension 5, it'll come to me and we'll book you. Now, also, what I want to tell you right now is this. This is really important. Think about how easy people get offended compared to 20 years ago. So I want you to understand something. Majority does not rule. The majority are leaving. When they say that the population needs to decrease, they can be really smart aleck about it because it is already decreasing. It's already going down. You didn't know that, did you? You have to understand that everybody that has a disease, there are no diseases, they're just symptoms of lack of self-love. And because of lack of self-love, you won't care for yourself. You'll only allow yourself to spend as much time for yourself as long as nobody in the family, like your husband, your wife, or anybody else says you're not selfish. You'll even feel selfish if you look after yourself, won't you? Yeah, you will. You'll feel guilty. So just know that their work is worked, and just know that I will never, ever take advice from the majority. I will never take advice. The majority are leaving. Okay, so just know this. You see how I talk? Most of you would be scared to say even a couple things that I've said,
because you'd be scared that the government's coming, or the medical system, or the boogeyman. You live in fear. And they're not actually coming for me, they're coming for you. Because the people that have the most fear of false evidence appearing real are the people that are sick. So they're already coming for you. And understand something, okay? They want the low-hanging fruit, and that would be the people that are not critical thinkers. Because at the end of the day, they want critical thinkers here. At the end of the day, okay, remember something. They poisoned the water, the food, they poisoned your mind, right? Think about it, if you were part of a family that has been in control of the finances of this planet for thousands of years, if you had a family that has created all the wars, and you had all these morons going to war for you so that you could they'd get their gold, they get the gold, get the drugs, right? Get the oil. It's gonna go on forever. You know, it's just gonna go on forever. And it's always gonna go on forever because the majority of the population is not awake and never will be. See, the subconscious mind is 90% of the brain. And you're only healthy if you have healthy beliefs. That's it. And the only reason why, you're gonna love this part. This is not nice, but there's only 6% of the population that are healthy right now. So that means only 6% of the population have enough healthy beliefs to make themselves healthy on an emotional and physical level. That's 6 out of 100, guys. So all the psycho elite, I just want to tell you, guys, you can go on holiday, because I promise you that the majority of the population is going to kill themselves with the eating and the drinking and the thinking they're doing that you have caused. And understand something, recycle, reuse. Come on, what are we, a bunch of morons? Okay, the corporations are polluting, and the corporations are made up of human beings that are greedy. And the psycho rich, they just sit back, because they're not the psycho rich, because they don't care about money. Because money's not real. Before it was made out of paper, now it's made out of plastic. And the reality is that the United States is already bankrupt. You already know that. So the reality is it's all just a big joke, it's made up. And we would never have to go into a depression, emotionally, physically, or financially, if we were awake. But seeing that the majority of the population is never going to have critical thinking, thanks for that study. There, that would make me depressed if I knew that I didn't have it. The reality is guess what? Do you ever notice something? How does he make so much money? He's as dumb as a stump. Well, guess what? He has one belief, that money's easy to make. Yeah, but why is it that the majority of the population can't get money or can't get healthy? Well, because they have poverty thinking about money and health. That's all, no more than that. My God, And guess what? Most of you will never, ever, ever break out of this because guess what? You have to suffer a certain amount every day to know that you're alive. Let's see if you can get through 1 week and not talk or grumble about any pain in your body, or about the finances, or about your daughter, or your son, or your wife, or your husband. Let's see if you can just shut up. Well, that's pretty quiet. It worked. Okay, so remember something. I truly love every one of you. I swear to God I do. But the reality is, if we're going to do just the average lecture, you're just going to go, well, that was interesting. What do you think? Well, I don't know. I don't think. No. Well, that's what he said, didn't he? And I've always wanted to be part of the majority.
I know if everybody's walking this way, I'm always walking that way.
Yes.
Understand something. The next time that you feel hurt by what somebody said, you just lost it. You just lost it. Think about how many times you feel hurt about what your husband said, your wife said, your mom said, your dad said, and everybody else said. Guess what? It is so easy to brainwash and program a human being. Understand this, okay? There is a God, but he's not coming to save you. There's no Savior coming
There's no Trump gonna trump it. None of it's gonna happen. The greatest soap opera in the world is called Trump. It's just a soap opera, okay? It's all just a big soap opera, and don't be upset with me, but it's not gonna go down. It's not gonna happen. No savior's coming. Oh, is that a shock? Really? You know what? When I was younger, okay, don't get me wrong, okay? If I'm wrong tomorrow, I'll just say, oh, I'm wrong. I'm not gonna feel bad about it, but just know this. Every day, my father was a born-again pastor, Jesus was coming. I was getting ready every day, okay? Trying to do the 10 Commandment thing, you know, that was pretty difficult, okay? And then, you know, the reality is that what happened to me is, guess what? I was non-deserving. That's what my father would always tell me. So guess what? By the time I was 10 years old, I just let it all go. I said, I'm going to hell anyway. You know, I'm not, you know. Oh, listen, you know, you have no idea how bad I was, you know. And this was like through my whole teenage years. Okay, I was a hellraiser. And guess what? I will never take it back. And I will never apologize because it made me who I am today. And listen to this. I'm not a rule breaker or a rule bender. I make my own bloody rules, thank you. You can take all those rules and take them where the light doesn't shine. I don't need a rule. When you unconditionally love yourself, do you think that you're going to harm yourself or anyone else? I don't need rules. Rules are for fools. Follow the rule, Daryl. And you're like, well, seriously. Why would I follow the majority? The majority's not going to be here. And if they are here, they're going to be in hospice or in the hospital. They're going to be limping. Okay, how many people here? I'm almost 67. When I was 10 years old, I only saw 1 or 2 canes. Now there's canes everywhere, walkers everywhere. There's electric wheelchairs everywhere. And limping, watch tonight. I'm just going to sit back here and we're going to count the limpers. Oh, there goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, look at that. She wobbles like a duck. She can't even chew bubblegum like she used to. You know? It's true. And that can all be reversed. Every one of you buy into the old age. Oh, it sucks getting old. I'm 67. I'll be 87, 97. I won't have any pain in my body. I'll have energy. But you're going to be all sucked out. Because you eat like everyone, drink like everyone, think like everyone. You think like the majority. You do know that they say that 1 out of 10,000 will be like what we would call an enlightened human being on this planet. 1 out of 10,000. Oh yeah, like things are really going to change. You know, this is just a training ground. It's called Planet Earth, a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure where we all get to listen to shit, eat shit, okay, and then spew it out. What?
You know,
Let me tell you something. Get frustrated or mad, but do something, because you're going to get a hemorrhoid. And I'm telling you right now, you better get frustrated or mad. You never notice nothing changes in your life until you're frustrated? You never changes in your life unless you're mad, because you have no love. I don't have to get frustrated. I don't have to get mad because I love myself. I'm just going to do it anyways. If you love yourself, you're going to do all these nice things. You don't do anything good for yourself until you're mad or frustrated. So guess what? I'm right. You don't love yourself. And guess what? You will never love yourself, especially if you're married to a man. If you're married to a woman, and you're another woman maybe, the reality is that you wouldn't be allowed to love yourself if you're married to a man. Because men are the problem on this planet right now. They're lost. They don't know what their job is anymore. They were supposed to protect the family and the house. And guess what? We can be so programmed. You know, they programmed women to say, you need to liberate yourself. Get out of the house. Well, that was, they ruled, they screwed you. They screwed you over. You lost your liberation when you went to look for a job, because we lost our family. Then guess what? And the guy, because guess what? Now there's a grocery store. You know, he thinks his life is all done, and there's nobody coming to attack his family. Well, yes, they are. EMF, 5G, blue light, okay, chemicals in the water, chemicals in the food, chemicals in the air. Where in the hell are the men? Where in the hell are the men?
You know, their job starts when they get home, where they bring courage and love and hugs, and they look at the back of a bottle to find out what poisons are there and look them up. That's what they do. That's what they should have done. Trust me, the world's not ending. Just a good part of the population. And I'll tell you something. I hope you know that the children that are around 8 and 9 and 10 years old are supposed to only have a lifespan of 40 years. Yeah, that's really great. The children that are 15 years are supposed to be toast by 55 now, and I believe it. Okay, and just know this, that the average 40-year-old now has the metabolic system of a 70, back 50 years ago. Okay, just know this, that obesity was 10 pounds overweight, now it's 40. Isn't that nice? And you do know that big is beautiful. Right? So you can buy into anything that you want, but guess what? They've sold you down the river. And anybody that's overweight does not feel beautiful. And understand something, and it's not about that. And it's not about putting people down. It's about feeling good about yourself and loving yourself. Enjoying yourself every day. You know what? This is our planet. And we're allowed to enjoy ourselves every day. We don't have to suffer. You don't have to suffer, but you're going to have to work really hard. If you don't like me, don't come to my course. But look up my course and find somebody that teaches something like that, where you can go to boot camp, they can crack open your coconut, they can get rid of those toxic beliefs. Hey, if you're not into unconditional love for yourself and everyone else, then you're a danger. Anybody that will fight cancer, go to war with another country, is a danger, don't you think? Anybody that will eat what everybody's eating. You know, and I always wondered, I said, my God, you know, there's so many drive-thrus. Some of them are empty. They're not making a lot of money. Clue in. These families, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, money doesn't matter to them. They rule everything. They can actually open up 1 million drive-thrus and they don't care if they're busy because money doesn't exist for them, only for you, the poverty people. It really exists, but it doesn't exist because you'll always have poverty. Until you find your passion, until you find your purpose, until you mind your own business, until you mind your own business. Do you know how much energy you have wasted because you thought a politician was going to help you? Because you thought that there was a savior coming? That you thought that somebody else was supposed to love you and care for you, and they never did. Who's loved and cared for you? You call wiping, getting your butt wiped when you're too old? No, somebody's not liking it, but they'll do it. It's a mess. My life is not a mess. And I'm going to go around, I'm going to keep talking like this. Okay? All right? I'm going to keep talking like this because everybody matters. What if 2 people out of tonight wake up and they hold the line for themselves and they actually say, I'm going to love and care for myself, and I don't give a damn what my family thinks because I just figured it out. They're not thinking. And the reality is, if you were to hold the line for 9 months, love and care for yourself, and not expect love from anyone else, you would change your family and you'd change your life.
That's what I've been doing.
That's what you've been doing. Okay, come on up and tell me how you did it.
Well, you'll have to excuse this, but I'm getting off of this thing.
Okay, good. You come up and you tell your story to Debbie. And Debbie, you want to tell the story with her?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to sit here, sweetheart?
I'll go.
Debbie, why don't you come over here?
So, I'll stand. I'm tired of sitting anyway.
Well, no, you got to sit because you won't.
Sit.
No, you want to sit here so they can see here?
Oh, I don't know, I'll break the camera, we don't need to have any more problems.
Come on. Okay.
I am 80 years old.
Okay.
And I want you to know, I am now biking with my little motifs every day, even in this wind. And today, she came up behind me. in the
Did you say you
car.
had wind?
I won't go into that, but you must get out about 10 o'clock in the morning or the wind really picks it up. She was right behind me and I didn't know it. She, driving. And she said, she stopped and she put her window down. She said, boy, you're going at a pretty good clip. And I said, well, of course. I mean, yes, this is, we're getting better. I'm trying to build up the muscle in this leg so if I can kick that thing. But
So let's start and tell them why that you're saying this.
I followed her directions. She's my neighbor, and you can't have a better neighbor.
But let's go back to the beginning where she fell. When did you fall? In November of what?
It's been a year ago.
A year and a half. So about a year and a half ago, she fell, she broke her hip. And she called me up and said, can you come over and check me out? And she's like swinging the leg. And I'm like, well,
Nothing's broken.
it doesn't look like, you can get up, you can use it. Usually people that have broken hips have deformity and they can't get up. And so she continued on with her life. And about a month later, she got an x-ray and she had a comminuted hip fracture. And so she was on a walker and, I was helping her out, shopping for her. And her daughter lives all the way in California, so family support is over there, which is kind of good because, they believe in the typical medical system. And the fact that, she went a month, they didn't want to do surgery because she was already healing. And so
I kept going.
yeah, so that's where the history of it is. And also, she also at that time got diagnosed with breast cancer. And so we had two things to deal with, correct?
Yes, but she's a good coach, I'll tell you.
So they wanted to cut off her boob. They wanted to give her chemo, which is mustard gas. They wanted to radiate her. And then when she told them no, then they went back and they wanted to put her on another pill, which was tamoxifen.
It went in the trash.
Yeah, it went right in the trash right when her daughter brought it home. Because if you looked up the side effects, it gives you blood clots and liver cancer and uterine cancer. So you trade in that breast cancer for this other cancer.
You have to go back and get more medication.
So that's the history. And as time went on, she's like everybody else, pooping in her pelvis, dumping a ton of calcium in her lower back, and that's why she broke her hip. When she just fell just at kneeling distance, and that's,
Getting fruit and vegetables out of the refrigerator.
So basically, we have worked together, and she's a good 20 treatments on that area to get her back. She's already come a long way from the walker. Last week, we did another session with her, and immediately, like in a day or two, she's like, look. And she's walking even without her cane. She's still carrying it, but she's still doing steps without her cane now. She says, I feel a big difference, right? And then she did go back 6 months after the diagnosis of the breast cancer, and she was clear on a thermography for no more cancer either. That department was without the
If you want to get to looking better, weight and everything else, you better do a 180. You better change totally what you eat and when you eat, because that is right there the key to getting rid of any problem. I do not take any medications, and I never have all my life. All I've taken are vitamins. And
she used to think that she went to the bathroom okay until I showed her that no. Now she's going to the bathroom many more times a day, like she should, right?
oh yeah, that's been going on for a long time. But it's what you eat. Yeah, of course,
And the detox tea.
Yes, but I don't drink at all, and I never smoked, and I none of that, none. It never. I thought people were crazy trying to learn how to smoke. I mean, it's just never happened. You really have to. You have to decide and to get rid of all the sugar, get rid of it.
So when I went there into her house, I showed her that the foods that she had, which she ate a salad every day, so she did pretty good, but she was eating gluten, she was eating a half of a bagel. I said, nope, that's gotta go. You know, just little things. She had, sugar-coated, nuts, she had these things. I was like, nope, 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 all garbage.
Gone.
And
gone,
so,
gone.
yeah, everything was gone. She turned everything around, and she was shopping by herself within probably 3 months, 4 months, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And then she used to ride a bike before the hip fracture, and she's back to riding a bike. So all she has to do is get rid of this one last thing, and she's right back to where she is, and she's a year and a half older and getting better. Okay?
You have to, and when you do make the 180 change in what you eat in your lifestyle, this is a lot better. I really feel a lot better. But you've got to do it. You've got to bite the bullet and turn it around.
But you know, most people don't even understand what she has gone through, and this is where we get into that the aging process. We just accept it. We accept the pain. We accept the hurting. She would lay in bed and just turn because, you know, like her lower back would be, you know, a little uncomfortable. And then the first 4 treatments I did on this young lady here,
Thank you.
she didn't feel me. She didn't feel me at all. In fact, my elbow was so sore from her calcification that it took me 4 treatments before she felt me, okay? And that's how calcified she was, or, you know, and now we're working, and she's doing the Cellsonic, and tell them what happened after we did the Cellsonic and a treatment this week.
I started using this even less. I'm now going to Ben Vogel for my physical therapy, walking in and across his area without using that.
So we did the Cellsonic, and then I did a treatment on her. How did the treatment go after? Wasn't it a lot easier? A lot more tolerable?
That's why
I was
biking
able
faster.
I was able to break apart a lot more of the calcification that occurred because of the Cellsonic. It is an amazing tool, and it's just, it's so powerful. It just reverses all that stuff. And she's gonna get another treatment coming up this week, and hopefully we can get rid of this last little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And
We're
so,
gonna get rid of it. Be
Yeah.
continued.
and, you know, and I remember Dr. Wolf telling me in my first class, you know, people who are older, they're set in their ways. And I said, not the one I work with, not the one I work with. And she's the spunkiest little thing here. And, you know, if she would have followed the regular medical system, she wouldn't be sitting here with us today.
And they're making thousands just giving you chemotherapy and radiation. They're making I can't believe the money.
Anyway, thank you. Okay.
Okay, all right, so let's explain a little bit about this so that you understand the whole process, okay? All right, so when you're younger, you have lots of energy. You wake up with lots of energy. You'll be tired when you go to bed, but you're not in pain. Why do you have to be that when you're older? So you just accept this stuff. Why do you accept this stuff? Why don't you question everything? You know, go ahead, question me, challenge me. But understand something, go into the library like Debbie said. If you went into the Doc of Detox library, you go through and watch Reverse the Irreversible. Go in and also watch the masterclass, How to Become #1 at the Art of #2. For you women, go watch the Emotional Intelligence of Cancer, Disease, and Healing, because you'll get that really fast. Okay? And for those of you who don't know, what we had 130 years ago, we had everything. We had everything.
But then the Rockefellers paid $100 million to have 120 colleges and universities closed down. They didn't just close down nutraceuticals, they closed down all energy medicine, all of it. That's why Tesla, he was actually the smartest man. Einstein wasn't, that was BS. Tesla was the smartest. And he was never going to be recognized for it. Edison stole his stuff, Einstein stole his stuff, everybody's. But even Einstein, when he was receiving the Nobel Prize, he said, yes, we'd like to have Einstein come up and get his Nobel Prize. And the smartest man, we'd like the smartest man in the world to come up. You know what Einstein said when he came up? Where's Tesla? Because he recognized him for that. So the reality is that we got sold history that's not true. Everything that you hear about, everything that you studied in school is a lie. Okay? These people want to celebrate themselves forever, and we mean nothing. And that's it. You better get it. When do you want to mean something? When do you want to mean something to yourself? Because as soon as you mean something to yourself, you will stop being abused, and you will stop attracting all of these dis-eases. Here it is, guys. So, let's move this up. So let's just take a look at this, okay? There are no diseases. Say it.
There are no diseases.
There are only symptoms. Okay, so you're only going to have pain, swelling, stiffness, redness. That's all you get, those 4 things. Okay, and inflammation. You're only going to have those things when you're out of harmony with taking care of the gift called your body that you've been given. You have to have infection to have inflammation. How many people know that whether you've got a toe problem or a nose problem, that guess what? All of it started from pooping in your pelvis. How many people know that? Well, it's all leaky gut. Okay, the whole world talks about leaky gut, yes or no? Yes. It's not leaky gut, it's leaky large intestine. I mean, even the practitioners out there, they call it leaky gut. They don't call it what it is. It's a leaky large intestine. The holy grail of healing is your large intestine. There's not a person in here that doesn't have a bowel problem. Unless you're on the daily cleansing tea and black gold, and I'm being very honest about it. And that's not because I want you to buy it, but if you did it and you stayed on it for 3 months, you'd never come off of it. It's not a stimulant, it's not a laxative. Black gold restores your good bacteria. I'm gonna give you a cycle here. I would like to just go through the cycle of life. So the reality is this. It's what Dina said, the invisible creates the physical. The biological is ruled by the psychological. Understand, every time you get upset, do you make a salad? No, you'd be a finger salad. You chop your fingers off. Every time you're upset, what do? You drink wine, you toke, you smoke, you eat, or you don't hydrate because you're punishing yourself. Don't tell me I'm wrong, I know I'm right. Or you're taking drugs. It's one of those. So every time that they can throw you out of harmony, disharmony, as soon as they can get you out of alignment, what happens? You abuse yourself. My God, think about this. Hey, honey, if you're good for mommy and daddy, we will give you a treat, which means basically we're going to poison you. Every celebration that you have with your family, you poison your family and yourself. Everyone. Don't tell me that you are intelligent. Those aren't intelligent thoughts. That's not critical thinking. You just spew and do. That's it. That's all we do. So understand something. All symptoms, okay, are caused because your body is saying, I love you. Can you not love me? The greatest relationship that you'll ever have or need to have is how much you love yourself. And don't give me this. And I'm telling you, you can't, unless you love yourself, you can't love another. That's not true. I pay a lot of attention to the kids. I love them with all my heart. Yeah, as long as they keep loving you. Let's find out as they become teenagers and they finally wake up to the fact that first you told them when they were young you were giving them unconditional love, And then as soon as they started to act like you and your partner, you punished them, didn't you? Yes, you did. You punished them because you didn't know that they were the little Yoda, little spirit angels that came to show you and your husband or your wife that guess what? You were off track and how to come back. But you didn't. You gave them a smack. Tell me I'm wrong, and I'll tell you you're lying. That's how well programmed you are. So now, here's the deal. So every symptom, you're out of alignment, you're out of harmony. And guess what? What does a skin rash become? It becomes eczema. And what does eczema becomes? Psoriasis. And what can that become? Well, skin cancer. But what is eczema? What is psoriasis? Well, it's all about fungus. But where did that come from? Leaky gut. I hope you know that 85 to 95% of all disease comes from a dysfunctional large intestine. All you had to do is just make sure that you drank enough hot water. And if it was structured, it would be a lot better. All you had to do is make sure that 80% of your diet, the weight of it, the weight was whole plant-based. That's it. All you had to do is make sure your food combined and you didn't have every meal turning into a buffet. Do you take a look at the women and the men that look like they're like 20 months pregnant? And nobody even looks at them? Nobody even looks at them. Why? Because they're the majority now. Not the 20 months one, but the 9 months. I'm sorry, not the 9 months, but the actual 6 months is the new rage. And don't you just love it when the guys get together? They're all sitting there rubbing their tummies. Is this wish time? I can't wait to see what pops out. Okay. So the reality is the symptom becomes the disease. That's it. So painful joints becomes arthritis. Arthritis becomes rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis becomes osteoarthritis. How am I doing? And so every time that you move up the scale, you get a stronger drug. Because why? Because you're saying, shut the hell up to your body. So now guess what? Go ahead. And when you do say shut the hell up, remember something? When you get really old and all that calcium's been pulled out of your bones to try to buffer down the acidity and the poison so you don't get cancer, okay? Now you're all calcified, right? So you're walking like this, right? And somebody go, Grandpa, are you okay? You look like you're in pain. Don't feel a thing. I'm numb grayed out. Yes or no?
Yes.
That's right. Skip as a forward. You're all headed there. And guess what? The ones in here, did you ever notice something? Go and look at your pictures. How many people in here have the big puffball face? That's all water retention. So if there was a forest fire, do we call the fire truck? So if we got our body on fire, then we retain water to try to do what? Put out the fire. What's the first thing of inflammation? Inflame. There's a clue. And guess what? Just so you know, I love this part because it's true. So there's a deal. Oh, nobody's coming to save you. That what you call God, most people think it's some guy with a gray beard, and it's not a guy, for one thing. It's a frequency, it's an energy that if you ever even got a glimpse of it, you would melt like a puddle on the floor because a human being couldn't stand it. And that which we call God has never loved us. That's such BS. It is way beyond love. Don't tell me that which created the whole universe is dysfunctional and loves us one minute and hates us the next. You made it into a human being. God, get over it. You actually think that you think that there's certain books on this planet that haven't been rewritten. No, nobody's ever touched this one. No, this was written by the hand of God. Now, go ahead. I'm going to burn in hell for it? Let me tell you something. I'm not saying that the Bible's not important. I'm not saying that it's a masterpiece, because it is. But I'm trying to tell you something. Everything's been manipulated.
Yes. Yes.
So just understand that. Okay? So I want you to know that I have a lot of respect for the Bible, But you tell me that they wouldn't screw with everything. Oh, guys, hey, listen, no, this one's out of, we can't touch that one. Let me tell you something right now. That which created the universe has never judged you. That's what created the universe. Guess what? This is planet Earth, a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure where guess what? These cycles will always get to rule the planet, but they don't have to rule you. You know, they don't exist for me, except up here to talk about them, to let you know. They have no power over you. You gave your power away when you believed you were a sinner. How does it feel to be a sinner? Do you heal from diseases when you're a sinner? Okay, do you have lots of energy? Do things go your way? How does it feel to be a failure? Do you feel really great, got lots of energy? Having a really great day? I'm trying to tell you something. I want to tear it all apart because guess what? People go, Daryl, don't be talking about that stuff. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose clients. I'm not after the majority. The majority are never, they're never going to come for one treatment and go, oh, that hurts. Or something like that. Or that's my budget. You know, I'm at least $1.50 over the budget. So I don't care about the majority. I don't want to even work with the majority. Do you know why? Why? Tell me why. Why don't I want to work with the majority? Because unless you're awake, my God, you couldn't pay me enough to crack that coconut. Okay, so Daryl, I'm part of the majority and you're in the minority and it's up to you to prove to me that you even know what you're talking about. Okay. Are you like out of your skull? I'm one of the awake ones. Okay, I am going to search out awake people and then we are going to bring the thunder down. And we are going to have an awesome time every day, whether you're at war with yourself or your mother, your brother, or some other country. We want no part of it. And that is called health. Health is where you mind your own business and you teach your children to love and care for themselves. And when your children mess up, you never judge them or punish them again. You sit down with them. You ask them why they're doing these things. Well, we know why they're doing these things, because all kids are doing these things, and parents are unconscious. Tell me you were conscious when you had your children. No. Gotta make enough money. Gotta get the food on the table. We have to do this. We gotta take all our kids to 50,000 different activities so they don't do drugs. So then you just exhaust yourself. It's all a setup. But just know this, when I leave, it'll be a lot more softer and gentler. No, but I will tell you this, that, you know what, if you don't want to limp anymore physically or emotionally, we know what we're doing. And the reality is here, you have to understand, and again, the majority wants pain what? They just want pain management. Who in the hell would open up a company called pain management? I don't want to manage my pain, just tell me how to master it. No, let's master our pain. Let's master our health. Let's master our wealth. You know, funniest thing is I was in a lineup flying, that's what I've been doing a lot of. And there's these two guys behind me and they're going, oh my God, I just can't take this, man. I can't believe it. You know what? It takes me until July. Now this is how long it takes now. It takes till July. So from the 1st of January until July, that's how much we now work to pay our taxes. We get to keep from August on. And I just looked at these guys and I turned around and I said, guys, you do know that you can get a corporation out of Puerto Rico and it's totally legal and you only pay 4%. If you get two corporations, you pay no tax and you can just do a nonprofit and give the 4% away. And they go, and they're standing like this right here and the guy goes, yeah, so Jim, what do you think about that stuff about the baseball game? And I'm just like, and I'm going, okay, that's the last time. That's the last time. And I wasn't upset. But you know what? I knew better. I knew better. I knew better because people don't want better. They don't want better. They don't want better. Okay? Most people just go from treatment to treatment. They're only good to the next treatment. You have to understand something. If you're not going to train yourself, Dr. Wolf, please, just treat me because I don't want to know about my body, okay? Okay? I don't want to know anything about it. I just want to have somebody else take care of it for me. Now that is where you are. That's where everybody is. That's where you are. Because you're never ever thinking about your body until you're in pain. You would never be in pain if you loved your body. How's it feel to hate yourself? That's what they did on an unconscious, subconscious level. It's not like you're outwardly doing it. But look at this. Look at all the things in our world, you know, like how many billions of dollars leave here to go fight wars, and there's people starving, and there's single mothers can't get enough money to feed their kids. Just everything is upside down and backwards, and you accept it. You actually think that the government is actually working for you. You actually think that this is as good as it gets. Most people think that the medical system is as good as it gets. Well, it's not even a health system. You do know that, right? Medical has nothing to do with health. Nothing, absolutely nothing to do with health. It's got to do with numbing you out so that you can not suffer so much until it becomes beef jerky. So here's the deal. So infection goes to inflammation, right? Inflammation causes pain. Inflammation causes swelling because you have to retain the water to put out the fire. It causes stiffness because you're pulling calcium from your bones in those joints and calcifying those joints to try to buffer down the acid so that you don't create cancer. You do know that's what's going on, right? And because of the inflammation, how many people have eaten beef jerky? That's what you are. Grandpa's beef jerky. You're beef jerky. That's what happens. You know, the same beef jerky you chew on, that's the person who has the hip problem, the shoulder problem, the neck problem. If we were to cut that open and cut a little piece and chew on it, okay, wow, Grandma, you've got quite a lot of flavor. It's no different than the cow or the pork beef jerky. And that's all, guys, have you ever seen, if you've been alive for as long as I have, you've never seen so many people in electric wheelchairs that could actually walk still. We have become crippled emotionally first and then physically. And guess what? Did you ever notice something? The world doesn't care how crippled you get. No. And guess what? As soon as you want to be disabled and get a disabled check, there's lots of money. They won't give you enough money to really enjoy yourself, just enough to live. But anybody can get a disabled check because the more disabled humans there are, the less critical thinkers. Yes or no? Okay. So anyway, so now what's happening is this. We're full of scar tissue and displaced calcium. And whether you want to believe this or not, our nutraceuticals, I'm going to take, in about 10 minutes, we're going to go through some of them. Guess what? You can get all the calcium back into your bones and have the same bone structure you had when you're 30 years old. You can have all the energy that you had when you're 30 years old if you want. You can have all the mobility and flexibility and all the energy that you had. But understand something. If I feed a belief, and I feed that belief every day, would that belief get stronger and bigger? Well, welcome to just sucking and draining yourself with your beliefs that aren't yours. Because they're not yours, because if you actually handpick them, you'd pick beliefs that would actually care and love you and actually make you feel good, right? Okay. So that's the deal. So that's why, ready for this? Remember when they used to do suture for the inguinal hernias? That would be pig gut, and it would dissolve, right? Or cat gut, lining. And guess what? They won't do it anymore. They want to do mesh. Because when you put the mesh in there, it's actually going to irritate and inflame and cause tons of scar tissue, which creates a block. How many people know that surgery causes more scar tissue than anything else? Anybody here have surgery before? So the place you have the surgery, you may not have pain, but you have stiffness. You feel a pulling. And that's because there's 2 to 3 inch roots that grow off the scar. And guess what? I'll tell you right now, do you have a cesarean? Yeah, did you have one? Yes, I knew it. Well, that's why you have the swelling. Your bowel movements are not great. You can't lose weight. It's very hard. And guess what? If we go in and do non-surgical on your abdomen and pelvic area, and you get on the perfect day diet, I promise you, you'll be back to your weight when you're in your 20s. So you have to understand something. You've got to, if you had a hysterectomy, okay, what happens is, did they take the ovaries and the uterus? Okay, so what happens when they do that is you have total, okay, you guys, this is really going to shock you, but every one of your cells has a spine, has a liver, has a brain. It has the same thing the whole body has. And when the knife goes in, every one of your cells, okay, don't be shocked. Go like this. Yeah, see, you got shocked. I told you not to. So every one of your cells freaks out when the knife goes to go in. You'll be able to tell where the knife went in right at the beginning, because that's where the hardest piece of beef jerky, like hard rubber, will be. And that's because those cells got traumatized the most, where the knife went in. Then when they're going along, all the cells in that area freak the heck out, and then guess what? All kinds of adrenaline and cortisol goes into the body, okay? Fight or flight, because you just got stabbed, you know? I'm gonna stab you because you just lay there. Okay, so now, when it happens, all that cortisol, all that adrenaline goes in. Do you know how much inflammation that is? So the body goes, oh my God, send as much fibrin as you can. Little microscopic fibers to go in and wall off so the inflammation doesn't spread throughout the body, right? So now the body always overcompensates. Everybody who ever got surgery here, 6 weeks after the surgery, if you were to see, and even if it's been 20 years, guess what? How would you like to know this? The surgery that you had and the surgeries that you've had, they're going to put you in the nursing home or hospice or the hospital or in the grave. Every surgery leaves more scar tissue than anything else, cuts off the circulation, and that's called cell death. And does everybody know that Dr. Otto Warburg received the Nobel Prize for what? For cancer. What's the cause of cancer? Lack of oxygen. How do you have lack of oxygen? Scar tissue and displaced calcium. It blocks it from getting into the cells. How many people know that those cells, okay, that got really inflamed, or any cell that we would say has a disease, actually the mitochondria are calcified. Calcium goes into the cells to buffer down the mitochondria so that the cells don't become cancerous, and they get calcified. That's right, and that's why when you don't have energy, because when the mitochondria get calcified, they can't spin 2,500 times per second, only 300 times. You're never going to have any more energy. I don't care what you do, unless you decalcify. How many people know that a subsonic will decalcify the mitochondria in one pulse in that area? Well, we've got proof of it, so there you go. How many people know that a subsonic will shut down stage 4 inflammation in one session? Now, it doesn't mean it's going to stay away. Why? Well, because if you're full of scar tissue, it displaces calcium and all these blockages. Would you have good circulation? Let me tell you something. All pain, all inflammation, all swelling, all stiffness, okay? And all further disease is caused because of the scar tissue and displaced calcium in your body. If we put the calcium back in, okay. You need 18 hours non-surgical. Let me see. I don't want to point at people that are going to get upset with me.
Just do it, be yourself.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, I know partially with your condition and everything else. Okay, so let's look at about 22 to 25 hours. And guess what would happen after 25 hours of non-surgical being done? And that's using the elbow, everyone. We go in and what happens is a tumor's like this, right? Well, what if I could go in there and open it up and get the circulation back? Would it be there? How many people know that we don't break down scar tissue that doesn't float around your body? That when you pull the fibers apart, the light energy and the blood brings in oxygen and nutrition, instantaneously it turns back into connective tissue. People go, where did that big fibroid go to? Because when we work on you and do non-surgical, if I did non-surgical on a fibroid that was, let's say, the size of a peach. Now, not every time, but most of the time, I'll reduce its size by 30 to 40% in 1 hour.
Beautiful.
Are we done yet? Okay, so when you come, we are gonna blow your mind. We're gonna blow your mind. And then after we're done, if you're up to it, I want you to just, we can take a picture prior for you and a picture after, and that scar, and you're gonna see the difference. It's gonna blow your mind. The whole thing is just you're gonna be, and not because I said it, but you're gonna be in tears, because you're gonna know that we're going back and we're gonna bring this back to normal, okay?
So doctor's talking about, I'm sorry, I'm.
Do you wanna come up? Come on, have a seat.
My mouth is big enough.
We're gonna do this, and then if she wants to do a testimonial, we'll do this tomorrow afternoon. Have a seat.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Denise. I am 55 years old and I had breast cancer 10 years ago, almost 11 years ago, and I had 7 surgeries. So the safest way for them to do the surgery for me is they cut me from the back to here, 40 inches, and they used my insides to make a breast. It was supposed to be for both breasts, but my insides were too small, so they can only make 1 breast. That really was great. But my skin was so damaged in the breast tissue from radiation, they had to take the back of my muscle and cut my breast off and pull that skin to make a breast. So I kind of look like a baseball on my breast area with all the scars. I have no shame in my game because I'm here to talk about it and I'm a believer. Look at your face. I don't even look at myself like that. I'm fine with it. I'm here. I couldn't even move my arm. Here, Dina. She can hold that for a minute. I couldn't even brush my teeth without holding my arm like this with all the surgeries I had up until about this year, January, when I started Pilates to get movement until I can get to Dr. Wolfia. Game changer for me. I did.
Can you have her sit there?
No, sit back down.
No, we need her to sit over there. No.
Just grab it, go.
No.
I did change a lot of my diet. I'm Italian. I love cheese and I love meat and I love wine. No. Had to get rid of it. I would say the second night when I did that, I was sleeping for 9 hours straight. And I lost about 8 pounds in water weight. And this was just recently when Zena kept saying, Nisi, you need to stop. I know your background, but you need to stop. I'm like, wine? Come on. I don't even drink it for a high. I drink it because I just like wine. We drank it since we were 3 years old. You got an ounce at the dinner table. That's what you drank. That's the way my background is. I'm a firm believer. Mentally and physically, nothing bothers me. Mentally, I am here because I am loving myself before Dr. Wolf even said any of this tonight. So this was not programmed for me to say any of this. He didn't even know that I was going to be coming up talking about it. Dina knows me for over 12 years, and we've been through a lot together. Physically, she has been there for me when I'm going through my physicalness. Over the phone, because I live in Cape Coral, Florida. I drove 3.5 hours to get here tonight. I know, you're looking surprised, right? When you were younger, they said there was a Santa Claus and we believed in it and we all got disappointed. You have to believe in yourself and believe in what's gonna happen, otherwise it doesn't happen. And your body is like an engine. If you're gonna put crappy, shitty oil in your engine or shitty gas in your car, that's how your car is going to work. You maintain your car, it's going to work no matter how many hundred thousands of miles are on it, and your body is like an engine. And that's how I look at myself. You can't judge a book by its cover. So who's ever hesitant, believe in yourself. And when you know you can believe in yourself, everything else is a breeze. And I'm telling you from me, doing this as a young woman, that I did not let it bother me. I'm past it, I made some errors, and they're gonna be 100% fixed by tomorrow, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I will have no problem pictures before and after, and move forward with how much more. Money is no issue. You know why? Because I'm gonna be around much longer. You're gonna die with bills, you're gonna live with bills. I'm gonna die with beauty. Strong minds. No, I'm done. Thank you.
So she said something interesting that was, she talked about Santa Claus, and just so you guys know how they set you up. Let's go way back, and if you really do your research about what Christmas really is and the holiday, they set you up to lie to your children, because they tell you Santa Claus exists. And then
Do you know why they do that? So your children don't believe you,
That's
and they will
exactly
never
right.
believe you ever again.
So they set you up,
They
you
set you
lie
up.
to your kids.
Yeah,
And then when the kid is 8, 9, 6, whatever the kid, and then, what, there's no Santa, and then mommy and daddy lied to me.
and they're also getting you primed as an adult, so you'll always lie to your children. And guess what? If you never lied to your children, you told them all the mistakes that you made when they were young, that would really help. That would really help, okay? Just know that. It would help a lot. So I want to come back to something and just know this. When they tell you you're bone on bone, whether it's your spine, whether it's your hips, whether it's your knees or anywhere else, we'll give you a money back guarantee that one treatment will prove you're not. We'll prove that it's actually the calcium that was taken from the vertebrae that actually calcified the disc, or it was the calcium taken from the hips that actually calcified the cartilage in the hip and the knee, and you're not bone on bone, that your cartilage is actually calcified. And even if you had 10% of cartilage left, it'll all grow back. You know what? Don't tell me about the faith that people have in God Almighty. They lost that a long time ago. They gave it up for manipulation. You know, if you have so much faith, why are we on so many drugs? Why do we opt for surgeries? Where's the faith? You know, and if you really knew about the creator of everything, then you'd be going after everything that the creator made, not what man made, because man is a manipulating liar. That's why it's called manipulation. And mankind is not kind. And it is so easy to program a human being. Come on. What about the last 3 years? How many times did you hear, I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my job. Really? Okay? You're just doing your job? Really? That's your job? Where's your passion? Where's your purpose? You know what? And whether you want to believe this or not, we're all going back to the same creator. So get over it. Whether you like it or not, we're all made from that same energy system. Whatever that is, I don't have a clue. So I am your brother. You are my sister. We are family. And guess what? The hate that I see with people, the judgment I see with people, don't talk to me about religion anymore, please. I've had enough. I've had enough. Enough. How about unconditional love for everybody? How about not purchasing all of this food that's not food? 90% of all the food that is in most of your homes never existed 90 years ago, and neither did all the diseases. And there's a reason for it. How many of you turn off your Wi-Fi at night before you go to bed? How many turn off your phones, okay, or put them on airplane mode? Seriously. Try to get most of the men to do it, and they'll fight you on it. Oh, because they're the kings of their castle. Seriously, they don't have a clue. And then guess what? I already told you, you know what? What's more dangerous than 5G is blue light. See these? I won't wear them on a show. I wear these all day long, everywhere. Why? How many people know that on a computer, on the telephone, the LED lighting from here, which is everywhere, the movie you went to, the TV you watch, it's all blue light, 12 o'clock noon light. Do you know what that does to you? That's why you can't go to bed, because you went on your phone at 10 o'clock and you told your body that it was noon. So it says, I'll keep you up for another 8 hours. That's why it's not, I got sleep apnea. Oh, I bet you do. God. I can't sleep at night, I got restless legs. No, you got restless all day anxiety. And you don't drink water, and you feed yourself dairy, sugar, and flour. And you're worried about things that are none of your business. So when you get home, you're exhausted, and your nervous system is frying out, so it can't slow down. You're gonna pop. I got a sleep apnea machine, I put it on every night. It's not doing a damn thing for you. You know what? I just want everybody to know that my disease, I can't do anything about it. We're all victims now, aren't we? Do you know how many people I've offended today on here, and here? Why do you think I won't let TikTok comment anymore? You're going to hell. Okay, I'll see you there. Guys, here's the deal. Connect to your breath, put a slight smile on, and then look at everyone that you hang around with. Where's their vibration? Because they're either going to bring you down or bring you up. Go take a look at the food in your fridge and ask if the vibration and the light in that food is going to bring you up or down. Go take a look at the things you watch, and what do you do for spare time? So what do you eat, what do you drink, and what do you think? All right? Does anybody have any questions? Could you tell I was in a mood all day? This has got to be one of the wackiest lectures I've ever
There's a
had.
microphone right there.
Anybody have any questions?
Come up to the microphone.
Nobody has questions? Okay. Hi, Kelly. You see, I'm psychic. I know everybody's
I
names.
know, you do your, yeah.
No, no,
You
no,
can figure
no.
it all out. Okay, so this is part of your, online stuff today, but I know you mentioned just when you were at the airport, the Tesla glasses. Is that like all the way through, like through everything, and you mentioned it here earlier?
What do you mean?
You said you wear them, like.
Oh, I never take the Teslas off except to show them they've got to do the passport thing.
Okay, but that
That's
is
all.
like the most important place, just besides everything else.
Oh, well,
Really, really important.
the anxiety, it's all blue light in there.
Uh-huh. And my other question is.
Yeah, but you should wear your Teslas outside, inside,
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
And if you do, you'll find that, for one thing, you'll lose weight,
Uh-huh.
okay?
I just got them, so I know.
You'll lose weight, and if you're underweight, you'll gain weight. Nobody gets this.
Okay.
It's all about metabolism. Your headaches will go away. Your anxiety, your stress, your eye burning, your mouth burning. Mouth burning is actually blue light poisoning in 5G, right? And remember the Tesla glasses, they have fluorine lenses. That means that C60, the actual C60 that you can drink, that is the strongest antioxidant in the world, is 300 times stronger than vitamin C. It'll neutralize the, okay? All right,
And
so
then even handing it,
the C60 molecule is embedded in here. It'll never, okay, so the actual, it's imprinted in there. So it'll never ever leave. It's never wears out. Just put it this way, you could be in front of a computer all day long or be on your phone. You'll never have headaches or anxiety in long, but you still need to, everybody, drink structured water. Does everybody know that structured water gets rid of blue light poisoning and gets rid of 5G poisoning in the body? And does everybody know that blue light poisoning is worse than 5G only because they're way ahead of themselves? If you take a look, everybody who has 5G phones, take the 5G off and switch back into 4G, and you're gonna feel a lot better, and guess what? You're gonna have better reception, because 5G cannot travel like 4G. 5G is a weapon, and when it hits a human being, or hits a tree or a post, it stops. And they have to put a 5G box on every corner, and that'll be done within 2 years.
And then anybody that has inflammatory disease isn't gonna be here. Because that's gonna turn on, if they did this, that turns on those things. And if you go anywhere, you can, why don't you do some homework and go to any city where they turned on the 5G, and you'll find out that the people that had this, okay, actually got sick within days later. And people were going, because that frequency turns those on. So they haven't even turned on anything yet. When they get those 5G boxes on every corner, then you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. So then that's when people are gonna be learning and wanting to do C60, black diamond. They're gonna wanna wear Teslas. They're gonna wanna drink enough water. You know, you have to drink 3/4 of an ounce of structured water for every pound you weigh, just to get your metabolism to the point of staying healthy. And it's gotta be structured water, guys.
I don't think they may not know what the structure.
I know, but we can't go through everything tonight, you know. Kelly,
Yes, so that was my question, and then just even if your phone's on like dark, because I kind of thought before I started.
no, your phone being on dark does not cut down, it's still coming at you.
Okay, that was my question.
Right.
Okay, so I.
Remember something,
Put
and
it
just,
back to regular and then we're.
just so you get this, guys, they could have actually put Tesla frequencies and Tesla engineering into the phones and scalar frequencies. And when you look at your phone, it could actually reverse your illnesses. They chose to put in blue light, which will, well, come on, I just told you 10,000 children are being diagnosed with cataracts every day now. That's all blue light poisoning.
It's in the TVs, it's in the computers, it's in everything, the lights, everything that you see, everything is affecting you.
And understand something. Your eyes don't see. Your eyes pick up light and frequency. That's why when it hits these Tesla glasses, it turns it not neutral, doesn't eliminate it, it turns it and flips it into healing light and healing frequencies. Let me tell you something. Start wearing these glasses all day long, you're gonna go, I can think so much sharper, I am so much clearer, I got so much more energy. And guess what? If you can buy from us now, where you can get your prescriptions put right into the glasses and they flip up and off. But here's the deal. There's only one downside from wearing these. If you wear glasses, within 3 months, you're gonna have to get your prescription renewed because it's gonna have to be weaker. Okay? And you are going to. Because your eyes don't see. The optic nerve looks like it's backwards. It slows the light and the frequency down so that your brain makes the images. And your brain actually causes the cataract, the glaucoma, the detached retina, because it's trying to cut down all of the poisoning coming in, which is 5G rays, 4G is not as dangerous, and blue light, and that's it. And blue light is more toxic than 5G. It's killing everyone, and they don't even know it. Okay, you wonder why you're moody, you wonder why you're grumpy. Okay, watch your daughter. On the more she's on her phone, the more depressed and ADD or ADHD, or if that's what it is, it's the phone. Okay, you know the teenagers that are on the phone the most, they have the most disorders, and that's of God's truth. They're gone. I guarantee. Does she take her phone to bed at night? Okay, well, she's on it all day long, every second she can, because that's the main problem. If she's not, okay. What? Well, then she needs to get Tesla glasses. She'll be the only one to get her a nice pair that she thinks are cool. And guess what? And the problem is she probably won't wear them because she has to follow the herd. So she'd rather lose her eyesight and burn her brain than wear something that will protect her for when she's older. And that's the way we're all programmed. When you're younger, you want to fit into the herd, okay? And then when you're older, you're going with the herd to the butchers. Yeah. Kelly, thank you. You're looking good, Kelly.
A couple products.
Yeah, let's do it.
5 months.
What?
5 months. I've been on everything.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
Yeah, down 11 pounds. I did everything.
Beautiful.
I did a private consult, he came to my house, we spent hours together and.
Yeah, we did a private consult in our house.
And now we're gonna do another one with my two dogs, so he's gonna do my dogs have been on structured water, and Debbie and Tina make me give them, the Black Gold every day.
Yeah, if you put your dogs on the same thing that you're on, we'll help you and tell you what, your dogs will turn around.
I'm doing a private consult with my two dogs, just to make sure they stay healthy. One is a little heavier, Debbie keeps telling me to feed him less, which I have been doing, but he's still, so Dr. Wolf's gonna take a look at both dogs. So.
Yeah, so, because we do non-surgical on horses and dogs, and a lot of the horses that are being put down, especially these, they don't have to be put down. With self-sonic and non-surgical, they don't have to be put down, we can fix them. I'm telling you, we can. It's not a false promise, okay? All right? We're the new kids in town. This is called, you want to show it? So this is called black gold. Now, black gold is humic fulvic. Does anybody know what that is? It comes out of Drumheller, Alberta, ours does, because that's where most of the dinosaurs were found. And humic fulvic is actually, what is it? It is plant life that's millions of years old. The nutrients are still in it, the frequency's still in it, believe it or not. It's the highest frequency. Like some people say, take charcoal. This outdoes charcoal 1,000%, I'm telling you. Zeolite, forget it. Humic fulvic, when you take the black gold, it works from your mouth to your rectum. It goes in and guess what it does? How would you like to be parasite and heavy metal free? So you do black gold, a teaspoon, okay, 1 to 2 teaspoons a day. I do 2 a day. It's not expensive. I mix it with my blender grain, and then I just put a pinch of black diamond, which is a nano humic fulvic, and I put that in my drinking water and everything else I drink, just a pinch. Now, the black diamond goes into your cells, into your bloodstream, and into your brain. And understand what it does. You will not have one parasite, no heavy metals. It drops off 60 to 70 micronutrients, and it'll also carry heavy metals and man-made toxins, and it'll shut down viruses, and it'll do it, and it'll lock them down, and even when it comes out into nature, it stays locked down. It doesn't get released into nature. That's what black diamond and black gold are. This is called infinite iodine. First of all, let me tell you, there's people out there saying they've got Nacean iodine, Lugol's iodine, they've got new technology. They don't. They don't. Lugol's iodine, Nacean iodine can blow your thyroid out. It's also, this is the only pure iodine in the world. It's called infinite iodine. You spray it in the back of your throat, 5 sprays. It'll neutralize viral infection or any infection in 15 seconds. Guess what else? You got a prostate problem, it's not a good one. You want to take a teaspoon of that, which you could never do with another iodine, it would blow your thyroid out. And you want to take a teaspoon of that, mix it with 2 ounces of distilled water. If you have a structure unit, structure it too, and do that once a day. Now, we found that with a study done with breast cancer, an ounce and a half a day. Also, we also use the infinite iodine for women. What is the most powerful thing a woman can do? Vaginal infusion. Okay, that's taking silver bullet gel. Go take a look on my website about it. Into my library. If the vaginal infusion is in the 6-day advanced water fasting diet, it's also in the 4 pillars of the perfect day in my library. Vaginal infusion for women, it will heal from your toes to your nose. It'll heal brain dysfunction of all sorts, even stage 4 inflammation. I'm telling you, it's more powerful than taking anything orally. Go look at the vaginal infusion that's using silver bullet, frankincense, the Bright Eyes nanofulvic, the C60, but use the hemp because it's thicker. The hemp is thicker, so it's not as watery, okay, all right? But it's all using a base of silver bullet gel. I'm telling you, you have no idea, whether you're talking about a younger woman or an older woman. Yes?
Are you putting iodine in the vaginal?
Okay, what you do is guess what? You'll have women doing up to a teaspoon at a time. What you do is you put 1 teaspoon of the iodine into the vagina, okay? And then you let it sit there for 5 to maybe 7, 8 minutes. That's it. So it's gonna totally disinfect. You cannot travel the iodine with the rest of the products. Now you can bring in the rest of the products mixed all together. Okay? All right? And we've got women that, you have no idea. We're talking about hip problems, bladder problems, endometriosis, cysts, we're talking about tumors, fibroids, we're talking about infertility, we're talking about intestinal problems, we're talking about brain tumors, okay? You want to see magic? Check the vaginal infusion and unlock the power of being a woman, okay? Goodbye dry vagina, goodbye fungal problems, goodbye all of this. Yes? No, the iodine goes directly to the thyroid. So people that have thyroid problems, the iodine is really great for them.
So she has a history of thyroid and been on medication
Who?
for 40 years, the one that was asking the question.
Yes, what type of thyroid are you on?
She's on,
What? Okay, all right.
so she wants to know how can she come off this medication?
Well, let's put it this way. I would tell you what I would do if I was in your situation. But the reality is have you ever gotten a perfect day consult? Well, then, don't get that. I don't want to touch it. So I can tell you this much, that you could take the infinite iodine and the iodide and then wean yourself off of that. But you have to understand something. You're not weaning yourself off because if you went off of it, your life would be threatened. Because the infinite iodine will take the place of that and more. The reality is it's the addiction to it. So I'd want to make sure that your bowels are moving good. And what if we could get you to purge your liver and cleanse your liver somewhat and get you on structured water and get you on a whole plant-based diet? Guess what? It'll be a walk in the park. All right? And the reality is that you said to me, well, I'm really stressed out, Dr. Wolf. I don't want to do it because I'm really scared. I'd say go see someone else because I'm not going to deal with it. Okay? Because I'm not going to deal with the paranoid, schizophrenic, fearful people anymore. Okay? Because they're dangerous. Did anybody ever notice that when you have anxiety and you get stressed out, you feel like you're going to have a heart attack, and that nobody can help you? How many people know that 92% of the people that get rushed to the hospital for a heart attack are having a panic attack? Are we over this yet? Dr. Wolf, I really want to do it, but I'm so scared I'm going to die. Okay, go see someone else. I know, but I'm just saying, see, you gotta understand something. When I had the Extapa World Healing and Training Center, you know, there was a show done about me, how 3 people died under my care. Well, yeah, they came to the Extapa Palace, which is a 220-room hotel, and I had nothing to do with them passing on. The reality is that people, you gotta love everyone, but, you know, people are always looking for someone to blame for something. And the reality is that they'll never get near me again, okay? And the reality is people lie all the time. So how are you doing with the diet? You know they're off it. You know they're not doing it. You can tell they're not doing it, they're lying. Everybody lies, you know what? The little girl and little boy in you doesn't want to disappoint, so you lie. But if you're working with any of our master trainers, or if you call up and get a consult from us, you never have to lie. You can tell the truth and nobody's ever going to judge you because we don't believe in judgment. We believe in observing and giving people a million chances because these beliefs are so dug into us that, you know what, we're trying so hard, but the chocolates, the popcorn, the alcohol, whatever it is, they're addictions. So just know that. Why do you think when you get a consult from Debbie or you call us up and get a consult from us, that we give you lifetime support? Because you need it. You're learning a new language called love and self-care. Self-love and self-care. That doesn't happen overnight. You know, it takes you 9 months of working with us to birth the real you. You know? Let me tell you something, and this is the God's truth, and I'm telling you this right now. Every woman will say, I know what love is. Yeah, but you don't know what loving yourself is. Women do not know what loving themselves because they've been programmed since they were little. Okay, that guess what? You give of yourself until you're exhausted. You'll get all the love you want. All right, and then guess what? By the time you're 40, you're a shell. And you're going, God, what is this all about? Right? right? Yeah, yeah.
Iodine.
Iodine. So infinite iodine, you spray 5 sprays in the back of your throat, okay? If you've got a thyroid problem, you would do 5 sprays of infinite iodine. But how many people know that you need iodine every day? How many people know that if the mother's not on iodine when she's pregnant, that the mentality of the baby will drop by 20 to 30% for the rest of its life? How many people know that the Rockefellers took iodine out of all of our foods in 1974, and they replaced it with bromide, which blocks iodine, and that's why every woman just went boom, had weight problems, thyroid storm, Hashimoto's. This was all caused because of that. You need iodine every day, and your daughter needs iodine every day. What do you think it does? It balances the thyroid, which balances the hormones. Oh God, that could be handy. The reality is this. If you reduce inflammation, you reduce infection, and you take the iodine, there's no hormonal problems. If you had 3 good bowel movements and you did the black gold, if you did the daily cleansing tea, you did the black gold, you did the black diamond, you did this, there's no hormonal problems. Black gold, black diamond, infinite iodine, daily cleansing tea. Because nobody poops right. And when I say you're constipated, I'm not saying that you don't go. I'm saying that not all of it comes out. And understand something. How many people their armpits smell? Well, guess what? You're full of it right up to here. Okay, how many people have bad breath? Well, what do you think you've got? You've got a rotting manure pile, and the gas that's coming off it is called endobacterium. That is really toxic, and hot air rises, yes or no? You ever been to the farm? Go stick a fork into the manure, gas comes up. Well, you go to reach over and you go, honey, I'd like to give you a kiss in the morning, and she goes, oh my God, stop, somebody pooped in your mouth. Yeah, well, they did. And how many people know that gum disease is actually bum disease? How many people know that the plaque on here is not from the food you ate, but from the bad bacteria that come? Hey, you know when you smell a fart? Those are small microparticles, and that fart is coming up with most of you because you're rotting in here. Where do you think prostate problems come from? Where do you think bladder problems come from? Where do you think endometriosis comes from? Where do you think fibroids come from? Tumors come from? What do you think an ovarian cyst is? It's a pus packet from you pooping in your pelvis and all that dead cells and pus. Now you gotta have a pus packet. Would you rather have a pus packet that's called a cyst on your ovary or ovarian cancer? Which one? Pick now. Okay? So what do you want? Okay, your vagina smells like dead fish. Well, that's fungus. Okay, that's from leaky gut. It's all leaky gut, but it's not leaky gut. It's leaky large intestine. I already said black gold, black diamond, daily cleansing tea, and the iodine. At least you're covered. That's basis. Okay? Can you show me the tea? Daily cleansing tea? Yeah. This is the one where everybody says that buys donuts and beer and has a TV that's bigger than their wall and that eats junk food all day. The ones that say I can't afford anything, this is what we tell them to get if they can't afford anything else. You ever notice something? When somebody says I can't afford it, what they're saying it's not a priority. So if their health is not a priority, how much time should you spend with them? No, you need them to get sicker because they're used to people being sicker in their family. Are you listening to me? You think that you're making decisions from logic or intelligence. You're not. You're making decisions from the family curse or the family blessing, one or the other. Either, whatever your family, their beliefs were the strongest, they're the strongest in you. Anyways, daily cleansing tea is made out of 5 different herbs, no laxatives, no stimulants. Take it morning and night for the rest of your life, and guess what? Just with that, you've kissed 80 to 85% of your symptoms goodbye. That's all you had to do. And it just tastes like tea, iced tea. That's it. You can mix it with soup, put it in a blender drink, you can't hurt it. Okay?
We need to plug that one in.
Which one?
This one has a low. Can we?
Yeah, we can. Okay.
All right. Hang in there, guys. Okay. All right, we're back. Okay. All right, so this here's called IGF-1. Anybody ever remember about IGF-1? It was just about 8 years ago, huge controversy. And the reason why is because the pharmaceuticals came after the sports industry. Because IGF-1 is made by what? Does anybody know what it's made from? Human growth hormone. And human growth hormone, when you're younger, goes into your liver, gets converted into IGF-1, and that's why, remember when you had all that energy in your 20s and early 30s? Well, if you take IGF-1, we have IGF-1 25,000 for if you're younger, or you know, if you just want to keep your metabolism up. And we have IGF 300,000. I take that 3 or 4 times a day.
So
And
I have an interesting story
Go
about
ahead.
this. So I took Dr. Wolf up to St. Cloud a couple weeks ago when he was here, and we were gone all day, go, and I still had to do the 2-hour drive, and I didn't bring mine, and I dropped him off, and he's like, open up your mouth, and he puts 2 drops in, and my eyes were already closing at the time. Boy, they opened up 2 hours later home, I was still feeling great. I mean, it was just amazing.
And understand, it's not like caffeine, it's not a stimulant. So that was just the energy that she used to have when she was younger. So you can take this and go to sleep if you want. But what it does is the human growth hormone gets turned into IGF-1, and then that goes into your body. And our IGF-1, guess what? People say, oh, I can't take IGF-1 because I heard that if you did that, it'll cause cancer. Synthetic IGF-1. I'll tell you right now, I'll challenge anybody on here, they can take my product, they can go to a lab, and they can take IGF-1 that's made from the liver of a human being, and they can't tell the difference. It's exactly the same. And that's why the big pharma came out and told all of the athletes in the sports industry they had to stop taking IGF-1, and they can't, if they test it for them, they can't find it because it's like the body makes it. But they told them, we better not catch you buying it, because now they're not taking big pharma's drugs. Yeah, anyways, it's amazing, that's all. I take IGF-1 and I take SON formula, which is an amino acid formula. We might have time to talk about it. But here it is, guys. This here is called Merigen. So this product here, so I got a little notice from the FDA. So you either take that product, Merigen, Cardigen, Dentagen, because they're 4 different reasons, and you get them off your website, or we'll take your website down. I said, yeah, but you can't do that because there's no harmful side effects. It's just water with calcium ions. And they go, we don't care. So you can still sell it, but they're going to have to call up and order it, because see, they can't take it away from me. But they can make it really difficult because that's the only calcium product on the market that will take calcium and bring it back into your bones, and it'll make and break calcium just as if you were 12 years old again. So I can tell you stories, about people that, who thought they were going to need to have bone grafting because they needed to get an implant, and it only takes 2 or 3 months for it to fill in, where their teeth were crumbling, or their bones were crumbling. We had a man who was 88 years old, and he was on Fosamax for years. His bones were crumbling. And we put him on Merigen, and he took it 4 times a day. Okay? All right. When he got tested 9 months later, they said that he had the bone structure of a healthy 40-year-old. So understand, this is not lies. If you go to my website, go to my library, because you can't find it. I have to hide it. And they know it's there, but as long as I hide it, make it hard. So go to my library, and you can watch about any autoimmune disease, and there's hundreds of thousands of real science and testimonials, okay? And right from, we have Cardigen for the joints, we have Dentagen for the jaw, we have Alzagen for Alzheimer's, we have Merigen that rocks on for cancer, any type. Just go and do your homework. And then we have what's called Oslo Junior. But let me tell you a story. Anybody know of a woman named Rami? She is one of our master trainers. She has a cell sonic like Debbie, and she's in McKinney, Texas.
Anyways, her son, okay, was the shortest in his class. He's 12 years old, okay, he's not growing. I know you're not gonna believe this. In 6 months, he grew 4 inches. Yeah, his teeth were also growing up, so it was a metabolic problem. His teeth were growing upward, and guess what? His teeth are now growing down. They've repositioned themselves. That was gonna cost her family $40,000 in surgery for him. So the reality is we put him on the Marigen, and he does that 2 to 3 times a day. Guys, everything that we carry are high vibrational nutraceuticals. Remember something, everything you drink and eat leaves the body, okay? We can tell, so what type of frequency do you think is left behind after you eat a donut? Well, you just need to look at it, because the invisible creates the physical. You can tell all the donut people, okay? Okay, they got a hole down the middle, okay? No, I'm kidding. So I'm trying to tell you that when we develop a new product, we test it for its frequency and how much light is in it. Because that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Because when you eat something, did you know that everything physically from that food or the drink leaves the body? Did you know that nothing physical that you've ever eaten or drank ever made any matter? No tissue cells, bone, or nothing. The actual frequency and the light that was in the food actually created your physical body. I hope you can wrap your head around that, because that's real science, okay? SON formula. Okay, so anyways, we'll even use this and crush this up for people who do advanced water fasting. Let me tell you something. If you ever want to unleash the power of real true healing, then you want to do an advanced water fast. Go take a look at my library and watch the videos. Because did you know that you'll release autophagy, which means you'll go and engulf up any tumor, any fibroid in there, cyst, anything. Your body goes and eats it up, as long as you're not eating. And what we do is we have 6 different things that people can take that won't turn on their digestive tract, won't turn on autophagy. It won't turn off autophagy, and it bypasses the Krebs cycle, so they have lots of energy. Crisis. You know something? On our perfect day in our advanced water fasting, people don't have healing crises. You know the healing crises that people have when they're healing? Well, that's because they've got a cork up their butt and everywhere else. And you've got to get the cork out, that's all. And the black diamond and the black gold goes in and it locks down all the chemicals so you don't have to experience them when you're pulling them out. I figured it out. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is you don't have to stay sick, and you're only going to stay sick because you don't want to be different. Oh, but wait a minute, you've always said you wanted to be different. We'll make up your mind. Okay? All right. SON formula. So if you take SON formula, don't believe me, but I take SON formula 20 minutes before I work out. I've got 2 hours of sustainable energy. Okay? SON formula, if you absorb 99% of the amino acids. Now, does anybody want to know how much of the other amino acid products you absorb? And I'm saying all the rest of them, 7%. And most of them come out of China. Okay? So just so you know that. So I'll do myself, because because I'm almost 67. And when I'm going to be 97, I'll still have the same muscle tone. And I don't work out at the gym, okay? I just swim and stretch. And I do things that are fun, okay, that I like to do. But I don't go to the gym because whenever time I went to the gym, I always went to the gym to get away from the gym. God, I gotta go work out and get it over with. Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me. And also that's where most injuries happen. And most people that go to the gym on a constant, they're in terrible shape. They look good and they feel like crap. Isn't that great? Okay. All right. Amino boost. Well, it's Dutch chocolate, but start taking that and giving it to your kids. Give it to your daughter as an alternative. And now she's going to get her amino acids, which are going to balance her system. Because if you don't get her off the sugar and the flour and give her this and get her off the other addictive things. So amino boost, you give it to her twice a day if you want it. You got to look for alternatives. But understand this, the SON formula will actually, here's the deal. Anybody ever see a cancer patient that's stage 4 cancer? Usually
their muscles are being eaten away, right, for the amino acids. So we'll put, like the average weight female, we'll put her on 3 of these 4 times a day, the average male, about 3 times a day, four times a day. No muscle loss. No muscle loss. So we're not gonna lose the muscle. So we need all those amino acids going in because cancer will eat up your muscles like fire, right? So you gotta reduce, here's the deal. If we reduce the inflammation, which guess what? I already told you. How do they tell if you've got cancer? Depends on how high the inflammation is. Okay, so the reality is if we can bring down the infection, we can bring down the inflammation. So we need to buy some time, don't we? So we need to bring the energy up. So I understand it all takes energy to heal. So how are you going to bring the energy up? Well, with IGF 300,000 and with SON formula, and I've got a couple other formulas, so we can get somebody who's in the bed, can't get out of bed, we'll get them out of bed. Because we're going to go back in and restore the metabolism the way it used to be. This is called Thunder Shrooms. This one is called Critical Care, and this one's called Vital Care. Okay, so here's the deal. So everybody's hearing about mushrooms, right? Do you know what mushrooms do, even the medicinal ones? What do they do? Even the medicinal mushrooms, you know what they do? They actually go in as a little toxin and they stimulate your immune system to come back. But here's the deal. These mushrooms have been studied for 40 years. Go watch the videos. I've got videos on every one of my products. I've got the science. That's why nobody challenges me. Just have the real science. These mushrooms are 90 years old. They come off the side of trees in Asia. There's 40 years of study on these. There's not another mushroom that will restore the immune system of the human body faster and more efficient. And in Asia, these mushrooms are actually medicinal, meaning that they are recognized by the medical system as something that you take to restore the immune system with any autoimmune disease or cancer. How's that? Okay, so they're expensive. The critical care ones are expensive, but the research is all there, and we'll have people taking anywhere from 4 to 24 a day. Sorry, Mr. Johnson, you need to go home. You've only got 2 weeks to live, right? So we're going to kick in this stuff. We're going to kick in the ionic calcium. We're going to kick in the black gold, the black diamond. We're going to kick in the IGF, and we're going to kick its butt. So understand that. Remember, when somebody's told that you only have much long to live, everything is a stat, right? Everything is statistics in life. Well, somebody your age that has this is only going to live this long. Well, what if I went home and didn't act like somebody my age? Well, you just changed the whole game, didn't you? Okay? So if you want a new reality, then change your personality. All right, silver bullet gel, it comes in an 8-ounce and also comes in 16. You know why we have to make it in 16? Because we have tens of thousands of women that are addicted to doing the vaginal infusion. Okay, so silver bullet gel, you can actually eat it. Okay, you cannot take enough of our silver to go blue. That's impossible. So let's get rid of that one right now. Yeah. Oh, listen, man, I heard about this guy who knew this other guy. So I had a couple come to me. Didn't we, Lori? And they were both blue. And they made their own silver water, and it was all big and chunks and flakes, and they'd still drink it. And they were blue. And they're going to be blue for the rest of their life. We have these big quart containers, because you can take as much as you want, but you'll never go blue. It's how you make it. And we run a 1,000-volt lightning bolt through our silver. Okay, and our silver, you know what I do? Okay, guess what? My teeth, my gums have never been better in my life. I don't go buy any expensive toothpaste. I take silver bullet gel, put that on my toothbrush. Then what I do is I put 2 drops of Healthy Mouth or 2 drops of Immunity, and then I sprinkle black diamond on it, or you can sprinkle black gold, the healing folic. You do that. Goodbye plaque, goodbye gum disease,
No more bleeding, no more canker sores. And understand where canker sores come from. Does anybody know?
Yeah, I think it's
The last 4 inches of your bowel. If we were to go and stick our head up your butt, we would see canker sores in there too. That's right. Hey, front door, back door. Could you even ask for more? Okay. Anyways, this silver bullet gel, guess what? I got tinnitus. I got an earache. So what you do is you first put the iodine in on its own. Put a little pool of it, little soap, for just about 5 minutes. Listen, does anybody know what tinnitus is? There's a little fine nerve that goes from the inner ear all the way to the brain. It's inflamed. And that person also has calcification in here and scar tissue around here. And that's the problem. So you want to get non-surgical, get cell sonic if you want, but if you can't, get started with this. Put the iodine in. Well, first of all, what you do is go like this, grab the ear, and go around like this. If you hear any crunching and cracking, that's scar tissue and calcium. Duh. Got it? Great. I don't have any, look at nothing. No crunching, no cracking. And what you're going to do is, if you've got an ear problem, and it's like tinnitus or a hearing problem, you want to get a clapper. Can you give me the clapper? You want to clap every night. So just so you know, last night we didn't, but I mean, like the last 5 nights I clapped for an hour every night, didn't I? Oh, wait a minute, I did. I clapped in the car. I clapped on the way home last night. Whoa, I'm clapping crazy. Listen, so I clap about an hour, and I clap my neck, I clap my face, I clap my head, and I do that all the time. If you want to know, look at it, look at my skin, okay? All right? Guys, if you want to really, if you clap your jaw, you have more stem cells in there to help to heal your jaw. And understand, you get rid of all that anger. This is called the FU point. That's why everybody has a tight jaw. Okay, got it, good, great. Now, but if you've got tinnitus, you want to get in there and clap about 20 minutes around here. Okay, why? Circulation. How many people know, hey, here's a clue. If I had perfect circulation, what would my health be like? Perfect. Yeah, that's why we have what we call the self-sonic, and we also have what we call the cardio med bed. And guess what? If a person came to me and they had a 92% blockage in their heart, in 35 hours on the cardio med bed and doing non-surgical, and guess what? They have a brand new set of arteries, no surgery. Yeah, go figure. Let me tell you something. We're bringing the thunder down. So anyway, so you're going to clap. Now you're going to do this 5 times that way, 5 times, you know.
Show them how to really clap.
Okay, all right. Okay. This is how I clap. Now you'll start like this. Yeah. Right? Right? That's how you start. And everybody will go, guess what? You know, everybody says, oh my God, that's abusive. No, I'll tell you what's abusive, the way you live your life. Okay? Remember something, I master pain, you manage it. And you're not doing a very good job. So, you hear that? That squeaky? Okay? Like I'll start. Lori, is that how hard I go? Yeah. And I go until my whole area here feels like warm and just unbelievably euphoric. Yeah. You know what? Look at guys. Do you think that I don't have, if you knew what I did in a day, you wait until you see. We're unleashing what's called the Touch app. It's the most powerful health app in the world. It's cost us almost $250,000 right now. It should be released in about, I'd say 8 to 12 weeks. It was supposed to be released, but we're finishing the book on the pain-free pregnancy. There's no manual like this in the world. It's going to teach every couple, if they want to have a child, it's a year before you get pregnant, right up until the child is 2 years, we unleashed everything. We teach them how to do the non-surgical. We teach them how to do the perfect day. We teach them everything about diet and self-care and self-love. And that's a 12-day course. And so right now I'm finishing that book. I just rewrote the Perfect Day Guide, the client guide. Guys, my Perfect Day client guide, there's not a manual like it. when you get your consultation, my guide's worth over $150. And you get that as a PDF, and if you want to buy the manual, we sell it to you for cost. But you'll be able to look through that, and you'll know 10 times more than any practitioner you go to. It tells you everything. Remember you said you just looked it up, and it'll tell you exactly. It'll tell you what to do for every situation. This is about becoming your own practitioner. It's a 400-page manual. Okay, with lots of pictures, right? Pictures are like 1,000 words, right? Okay, anyway, so so now we're gonna clap around the ear, and then what we're gonna do is after we clap, then what we're gonna put in is a few drops, okay? And we did the eye time. Now what we're gonna do is we can put in a few drops of, a couple of drops of what we call Restore oil. We can put that in, or we could put in our Bright Eyes, which is our fulvic. The only fulvic humid in the world that will help to stop cataracts, stop degeneration of the eyes, and in some cases, help the eye to reverse it. Eye conditions, floaters, burning eyes, size, you name it. Just by using the Bright Eyes, people will say that I can see better. I've had to get my lenses made even weaker. I'm not making this up.
And my sty went away in 2 days using it.
Just saying, right?
Yeah, so, okay, let me go back to this. So, we did the iodine first, then what you can do is you can put in your Restore, or you can put in the Bright Eyes fulvic drops, just a few of them, okay? And then what you do is you put a little squirt of silver in, you put just a hot pack on top, and you let it soak, and you go to bed with that. And you do that every night. That's how you get rid of tinnitus. But you gotta clap, okay? And of course, reducing your stress. So you'll see everybody that has the same tinnitus problem, they have a TMJ problem. Remember something, it's a scar tissue, displaced calcium issue, okay? All right. So these are called Ocean Essentials. Fatty acids, that's what I was telling you for your daughter. Your daughter should be doing 5 twice to 3 times a day. You're gonna see a difference, okay? That you're gonna see a huge difference. You know how people take fish oil? Nobody digests it, you burp it up. You know, and then people say, yeah, but I take krill, they're the smaller ones. Well, it's still fish. Yeah, but they're smaller. Okay, so you need to take something that the body will look at and think it made it. That's the way it always has to be. All right? Anyways, Ocean Essentials have a 400 better % absorption than fish oil. Magnesium. This is called Mag Infusion. There's many types of magnesium. There's one out there called Calm, where people will take, or they'll take a magnesium because they want their bowels to move. Magnesium is not supposed to get to the bowels. Our magnesium, you could take like 1/8 of a teaspoon, put it under your tongue. It'll heat up a little bit, but you'll be calmed down right away. It goes right into your bloodstream. It'll never make it past the stomach. It absorbs in through the stomach, and that's what you want. You know, magnesium's not supposed to be used as a bowel laxative. Okay, all right? Anyways, magnesium is the relaxing healing mineral, all right? And it's the most efficient mineral in humans today.
That's used for sleeping?
Yes.
Well, it'll help you sleep. It's gonna help you sleep, but doing belly button therapy is gonna help you sleep better. What if you were to go to bed and do belly button therapy? Belly button therapy releases more dopamine, more oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins than anything else. And belly button therapy, here, I'll show them up here. You gotta put it in your belly button, everybody, right here, okay? And what you're gonna do is, it takes 5 to 7 minutes, and if you don't believe me, go do a stretch, and then do that, and you'll have a 20 to 25% more stretch in your body. Yoga can't even give that to you in an hour. And that's because dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins travel at the speed of light, okay? And that's why they relax you so fast. So if you do this belly button therapy before you get out of bed in the morning, put a slight smile on your face and connect to the Lionheart breathing, because that's, you know, oh, I got out of the wrong side of bed, you know, who even says that stuff, you know? And then if you do the belly button therapy before you go to sleep and connect to the Lionheart breathing, put a slight smile on your face,
and then go through everything you're grateful for, and then go through also everything that you deserve. And then you get up the next morning and you demand it. You deserve everything. Now remember something, whatever you're putting out to the universe, that's what you have. If you've got a crappy body, that's what you're putting out. If you've got poverty, that's what you're putting out. But it doesn't matter, guys. You have what your beliefs are. You can take it or leave it. You're miserable because you have miserable beliefs. You're depressed because you have depressive beliefs. Okay? You're in pain because you have painful beliefs. That's it. Okay? And you'll know the ones that are in pain, they wouldn't smile. They'd rather die than smile. You don't know what my life's like. It's miserable. I'd rather kill you than smile. Yeah, there's a lot of people in here tonight. A lot. Well, no, it's not. There's actually 7 left. The rest left already. Okay, here we go. DMSO gel. DMSO gel is made from trees. The gel is really great on your joints. You know why they tell you that it's illegal? Because it's the most powerful solvent. It goes in and decrystallizes, loosens up the scar tissue, gets the circulation going. You only need very little bit of it. You take a little bit of it and it heats up. Don't get it in your eyes because it'll burn. You don't want to do that, okay? But you could put the DMSO on gel on a terrible joint, and some people are going to go, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Because remember something, with natural medicine, the pain goes away because there's no more inflammation left. There's no more block left. There's balance. The pain goes away with medical medicine because you've actually blocked the message that you're still on fire and still in pain. So that's why you end up having to go to surgery, because you never did get healed. You just told your body to shut up. The inflammation's still on, the pain's still on, but you don't feel it. Oh, well, I feel so much better from taking that magic pill. And then you guess what? And then when that wears off, you feel dopey, and you wreck your back even more because you didn't feel the pain. But the pain was always there. So understand something. Nobody gets better on drugs. And think about, what kind of morons are we? We're not supposed to do the drugs off the street, but we can do the drugs behind the counter, even though it takes them 10 minutes to tell us all the side effects of killing us. What the hell is wrong with us? I'm going to tell you what's wrong with us. God created our spirit, but our body was manipulated. You don't think so?
I do.
Well, if you don't think so, I get it. 80% of the population doesn't think. We know that. And the reality is this. This is a life-threatening, fun-filled game only for the conscious few. I said few. Okay? Do you ever notice something? There's Jim, you know what? My God, Jim is so good with his family, but he can't seem to make money. Oh, Bill, he makes a lot of money, but he's not good with his family. Well, what if we were to go in and actually become the masters of our mind and bring in new empowering beliefs? What would happen? Well, Jim makes money and he's great with his family now because he doesn't have dysfunctional beliefs from his childhood. Whether she believes it or not, she's gonna, 70% of her beliefs, came from 0 to 7. And depending on how you two thought about yourselves and each other, that's who she is. She's not who she is because God granted it. She is that way because of what went down from 0 to 7, in school, at the church, in the house, in the playground. She's only the average of the 5 people that were around her the most from 0 to 7. So you gotta get that. So your personality is just from, major part of it is from 0 to 7. You don't get it. So heaven is now or hell is now. And your beliefs make and shape you, that's it. You're the director, you're the writer, you're the producer, and you're the leading star to probably a horror movie, okay? I'm the leading star to a love, comedy, romance. And I'm gonna stay that way, and I don't give a crap if we decide to go to war with everybody and anybody. I'm gonna mind my own business because I'm not buying into that bullshit.
See how I feel today? Okay,
Essential oils.
all right. Orange burst you put in your drinking water, but orange burst is really good for breast problems as well. And understand, you want to get kids to drink water? Put a couple drops of orange burst in, or a couple drops of lemon lift, or if you've got blood sugar problems, or even diabetes, or onset diabetes, which isn't really diabetes, it's just you're a sugar flour junkie. That's all you are. And anybody that has onset on that diabetes are usually overweight, they're obese. And the next thing is guess what? Anybody that has adult onset diabetes can be reversed in 6 weeks, maximum 3 months. And actually, you can do it in 2 weeks with a lot of people. So are we done yet? Are you done being a victim? I hope so. Because that's the only virus I see, victimitis, and that one's invisible too. Okay? All right. So super cinnamon will actually balance your blood sugar level. It'll cut your cravings, 2 drops in a quart of water. Shake it, drink it. You're not going to crave flour and sugar. You're not going to, okay? Just know that. How we doing, Baxter?
Yes.
Muscle restore, if I just be quiet. Muscle restore. Muscle restore, can I see pain away first? You're good. So pain away is after you go to non-surgical with Debbie, you'll want to put pain away on. Now, I just love this stuff. You know how we're all taught? Yeah, I use essential oils. When I get pain, how often do you put it on? Well, I put it on like once a day. Okay, good. Now, so if you've got pain, you're going to put it on every 15 minutes to 30 minutes, and guess what? The pain is gone by 80% in 2 hours. And then you're going to continue to do it because the pain goes away because you're actually healing it. We're not hiding it. So you put it on often. And then once the pain is almost gone, then you use the muscle restore because it heals the tissues and causes them to heal properly. Okay? All right. Peppermint. So peppermint's amazing. So tonight when you go home and your feet are really tired, all you had to do is put 6 drops on. And guess what? The tired, painful feet are gone in 30 seconds to a minute. Now you can sleep. And they're only painful because all the nerve endings are there and you didn't know it, but you've been trying to kill yourself. That's why your feet hurt. Okay? And after you put it on your feet, then what you do is rub it on the back of your neck here to open up the circulation of your occiput. And then just bring it close to you here and breathe in and open up your sinuses. Okay? And then do your belly button therapy, put a slight smile on, and thank God, okay, for everything. And know that you are the everything. Okay? All right. Frankincense. Frankincense is the highest vibrational oil of all. And frankincense, put a drop under your tongue if you have a lower body problem. Put a drop on your tongue. Touch the roof of your mouth if you have an upper body problem. But we also use frankincense in the vaginal infusion, and you can use it anywhere in the body. We have another one that's called frankincense. It only comes in a bottle this big. It is the most pure and highest vibrational frankincense on this planet. But that one, you would only use 1 drop in your vaginal infusion because you wouldn't know what to do with all that frequency. You got to start slowly. Because it's all about frequency. Yeah, once it's in there, it's like, how do I get it out, baby? Whoa! Anyways, did we do it?
Yeah, we're doing it.
Oh, can you grab my book then? And that's my Healthy to 100 book. You can get that online. It's only $15, guys. Okay? And if you don't want to pay for it, then go to my library. You can download it for free. Okay? All right.
One more.
This is called curcumin cayenne. This is my favorite. It is one of my favorites anyways. Did you know that curcumin cayenne is one of the most used products all the way from just inflammation to cancer all around the world? Did you know that turmeric has 5% curcuminoids in it, and our curcumin has 90%. So that means it's 20 times stronger than turmeric. And then when you use cayenne, it triggers it to go deep within the body. And so I'll have people who have infection, inflammation, call it what you want, autoimmune disease, and I'll have them do a capsule every other hour. And we have big bottles of things, because we'll have them really go in. If you've got a 20-foot hole, if I gave you a 5-foot ladder and you climbed it 4 times, would you get out of the hole? Well, that's what most of you are doing. If you got a 20-foot hole, get yourself a 20-foot ladder, and then take a gentle, baby, loving step every day, and you're gonna get out. But what you do is you do what everybody else does, and you get what everybody else has got, and that would be called gut rot. And that's what's happening. Basically, just so you know, every disease means that you're rotting inside. And every disease that a person has, the main culprit is the large intestine. You're gonna tell me, you know, whether you believe this or not, right now I'm dealing with 5 bowel cancer patients. 5. Bowel cancer, bowel cancer is the fastest, prostate and bowel are the fastest growing cancers now. Okay, just so you know. All right? And the reason why is, did anybody take a look at the men? Really? Okay? Like they're not really here. Okay? Men are not here right now. They're not. Have they checked out a lot of them? They have. And if you take a look at their tummies, how's that looking? Okay? There's got to be a clue somewhere there. Okay? So any guy that his tummy is sticking out farther than his pecs, okay, has a prostate problem. So just know this, that prostate problems went up 40% in the last 5 years, and at the rate they're going, they say that it'll minimum 400% increase by 2030. So just know this. They're also stating that right now that 90% of all men will have a prostate inflammation to cancer problem by the time that they're 65. Okay, and this is because of all the garbage that they eat. Okay, this is because of the exercise they don't get, and this is mainly, and please don't take this wrong, guys. It may not be you guys, okay? The 3 guys that came tonight, 4. But the reality is that you have to understand this: is men do not listen to their women, and women care. And they're the caretakers of the world. And if women don't take power back for this planet, then it's over. It's all over, okay? Because men are just not there. They checked out. There are men, and people are waking, but they're not waking up fast enough. Not for how fast we're going down. If you think I'm kidding, just watch the statistics, because they have no problem telling you the statistics, do they? No, they just want to tell you how stupid you are. We're not stupid. They programmed us, TV, radio, all the way through school, government, medical system, dental system. Now, whether you want to believe this or not, the medical system is the 3rd leading cause of death in the United States. And guess what? Dentists are right behind them. Did you know that? They're murdering people, okay? You know, there's no silver amalgams. Amalgams are 47% mercury, all right? And the EPA will not allow certain mercury in the environment, and we have 100 times more in our mouth. So understand something, nobody's coming to save you. The Rockefellers, the Queen of England, the Carnegies, the Rothschilds, they all serve an evil entity, and they don't give a crap about you or your children, and they get off on you hurting yourself and your family. So just know that, so, okay? And whether they cut this off or not, I don't really care. You know, the reality is I don't need a lot, because you can believe this or not, but you are my family. And we are going to hold the line, and we're going to keep on keeping on. And we love you with all our heart. We don't need to know you, because understand something. I believe in God Almighty, and God Almighty is beyond love. And if I could get there, then I can go anywhere. Thank you for coming.
Good night, everyone. So if anybody does want any type of a consult, you can call Dina or Debbie. And just know that the Whole Life Coach course starts on Monday for those of you who are so excited
have a consult with you tomorrow at 2:30.
What? Oh, I had to cancel that.
You did?
I'm kidding.
Oh
Come
my
here.
God, you better hug me.
I will.
I came from North Carolina.
I will. I'm a bugger, all right?
You are, she's a woman. Oh my God, but when I heard about the start